Chapter 1141. Little Dream placed her left hand on Winged Wolf's stomach, and with a thought, a ball of flame instantly wrapped around his upper body, burning his clothes clean. Who would have thought that this demonic wolf's humanoid figure was actually quite attractive? It was a pity that such a good figure did not attract their attention at all. PFFF, without any warning, Xiao Meng stabbed the dagger into his chest. Rip, Little Dream held the dagger and pulled it from his chest to his abdomen. Blood continued to gush out, but there was no more blood to be spat out. Winged Wolf's mouth was agape and his eyes were wide open. He couldn't believe that he had really been disemboweled. Back then, you cut open my stomach like this. Xiao Meng said, "Look, I still remember how you handed them the knife and how you stood by the side and asked why there was nothing in my stomach." Maroon Wolf's eyes finally turned. He looked at Little Dream's angry eyes and remembered the first time he had seen them dissect Little Dream. Rip, similarly, the sound of our body being cut open was exceptionally clear in the dim room. Little Winged Wolf leaned over and saw Little Dream's empty stomach. He asked curiously, "Clan leader, why is there nothing in this person's body?" "Because she has already been dissected by others too many times. They have removed all her internal organs, and they have yet to regrow them." An old man said. "Her internal organs are gone, so why isn't she dead yet?" Little Winged Wolf asked. "Because there's something in her heart. That thing can guarantee that no matter what kind of injury she receives, she will not die." The Devil Wolf clan leader said. "Then shall we take that thing out?" "I can't. Every time it approached the heart, it would be blocked by an invisible force. Therefore, we can't move her heart, and she won't die." At this time, Little Dream opened her eyes on the chopping board. Little Winged Wolf would forever remember those eyes. So clear, so pained, so desperate, PFFF, Xiao Meng stabbed down and pulled hard. His liver was pulled out by her, followed by his internal organs and intestines. "Back then, you thought it was fun that I didn't have any internal organs. Today, you should also experience that feeling of emptiness in your stomach." The light in Winged Wolf's eyes slowly dissipated, and the life force in his body also quickly drained away. He was not Little Dream. He did not have Little Dream's undying body. Little Dream's internal organs were gone, but her heart was still hanging, waiting for the other organs to be reborn. As for him, without her, he had nothing. When Maroon Wolf took his last breath, a white light flashed and he returned to his original form, a giant demon wolf. His eyes were wide open, and he died with his eyes wide open. Never in his wildest dreams would he have thought that his trip to the immortal realm would cost him his life. And in the Devil world, in the Devil Wolf clan, the shattering of Maroon Wolf's life card caused a huge commotion in the Devil Wolf clan. Blood tracking, break. A stream of energy was injected into the shattered life card, and an image appeared in front of everyone. Everyone was shocked when they saw the little face covered in blood on the screen. "Patriarch, isn't that?" That person couldn't finish his sentence. They were all too familiar with that face. Nightmare Beast. It really is a Nightmare Beast. "Patriarch, isn't that Nightmare Beast suppressed in the captive continent? Why would he appear in the immortal realm? Isn't that obvious? He must have been saved by someone. Patriarch, should we tell this news to the other powers?" "No." The Patriarch waved his hand. "Why? Did you notice? The Nightmare Beast has been contracted by someone." The Devil Wolf Patriarch said. "It seems so. Wasn't she unkillable before? Now that she has contracted with someone, I want to know if that thing is stronger or if the contract is stronger. If her contracted master was killed, would the Nightmare Beast, who had an undying body, die? If she died, wouldn't his Devil Wolf clan be able to obtain that treasure? That treasure that was rumored to be able to rule the entire Devil world, according to the information of the two people beside him, find out who contracted the Nightmare Beast." The Devil Wolf Patriarch ordered. "Yes, Patriarch. Also, be careful not to be discovered by the other powers." "Understood. We understand. Patriarch, rest assured, we will be careful. You may leave." Yes. Poochie, the image suddenly disappeared, but it had already been engraved into everyone's hearts. They were so shocked by the news of the nightmare beast that they even forgot that their young patriarch had been killed. Little Seven looked at Ching-yi, who suddenly made a move and blinked, asking, Ching-yi, what's wrong? There's a secret technique on the corpse. The other side will see the scene of his death through the secret technique. Ching-yi explained. He didn't care if Little Dream was seen or not, but he didn't want others to see Little Seven. That means, the other side might already know that Little Dream has come out. Jiang Junxian said. Sima Yuyue also knew this. If the other side didn't use a secret technique, Qing-yi wouldn't have found out. You're not worried? Jiang Junxian asked. What's there to worry about? Sima Yuyue said, not to mention that they can't come over now. Even if they did, would we be afraid of them? Even if they don't come, we will find them one day. Her words made their hearts tremble. Her confidence made them feel that if those people came to find her, they were simply seeking death. What should we do with the remaining people? Do we really have to wait for them to all be disemboweled? Su Xiao asked. Of course, if we don't let them do it, they will make a fuss. Sima Yuyue said dotingly. How long will that take? Don't worry, they're very fast. Sima Yuyue said with a smile. They didn't understand what she meant at first, but then they saw how crazy the three of them were. In less than half an hour, they disemboweled all the wolf clansmen. This efficiency. Han Miao Shuang and the others stuttered. After dealing with the last demon wolf, Hua Hua and Little Seven came to Little Dream's side and asked, do you want to clean up the corpses? According to past experience, Little Seven's cleanup was to burn them all with fire. Little Dream thought about it and shook her head. Let them be a warning to the other demon clansmen. Let them tell those people that I'm back. I will take revenge on them one by one. All right then. The demon wolves were all dead. Sima Yuyue released the array and they returned to the cliff. I'll go and remove the array first. In order to prevent the demon clansmen from shifting their attention to them, it was better to erase all traces here. After cleaning up, they received a call for help. Boss, help! Chi Wei shouted from the Mother-Sun Stone. Sima Yuyue heard that there seemed to be a huge battle at the Mother-Sun Stone. Chapter 1142. Read 336. Sima Yuyue was speechless. This request for help was too unreliable. If she hadn't followed them here, who would they have asked for help? For the sake of treasure hunting, I can disregard everything, she said. Boss, I'm doing my best to stay alive. But if you don't come, we'll all be dead. Chi Wei shouted. Seeing how your voice is so loud and clear, and how spirited you are, it should be enough to deal with those people. Sima Yuyu said this, but she took out a scroll and started reading. Boss. Chi Wei was on the verge of tears. People were dying around him, and even his master was heavily injured. All right, stop acting like that. Where are you guys? Sima Yuyue asked. How am I supposed to know which direction it is? Chi Wei said. There's no reference point here. Then look at your shadow. Is it long or short? Which direction? Sima Yuyue asked. Northwest. The shadow is only a foot long, Chi Wei said. All right, I got it. Sima Yuyue cut off the connection with him and looked at the position of her own shadow to determine the location of each other. Their shadows were facing the southeast. The shadows were not long, which meant that the sun was between them and they were not far away. They are in the northwest of us. According to the distance, there should be more people here. They should be here. Sima Yuyue pointed at a bunch of red dots. Very likely. Let's hurry over, or they'll be done for. There's no rush. Sharpening the blade won't delay the work of cutting wood. What are you going to do? Han Miao Shuang asked. Sima Yuyue took out a pile of array stones and said, this is when the role of an array master is revealed. Without the formation, it's like abandoning the plane to take the green train. Plane or train? Everyone looked at her. What was going on? Cough, cough. That, I'll tell you next time. Sima Yu said, let me set up the array first. Setting up a teleportation array at this distance was a piece of cake for her. It took her less than an hour to set it up. Can this bring us there? Little Seven asked. We don't have the exact coordinates, but we can get a rough estimate based on the distance and direction. Sima Yu said, we can at least shorten the distance by half. Alright, the formation is done. Let's go. The group of people entered the array. After Sima Yu activated the array, they all disappeared. Due to the exhaustion of their spiritual power, the formation stones had all turned into powder. Not long after they left, a group of demons passed by. When they saw the disemboweled demon wolf clan, they turned pale with fright. The devil wolf clan was a clan with very strong fighting strength. Now that they were all killed by someone, and in such a way, it was unknown who they had offended. Especially the internal organs that were thrown all over the ground. Even as demons, they couldn't bear to look at it. Boss, should we teach them a lesson? One of the lackeys asked. Clean up what? Wasn't the demon wolf clan very arrogant in the demon realm? Then let them stay here for a few more days. Someone will collect their corpses. Boss is right. Not only will we not collect their corpses, when we go back, we will spread their faces. It would be strange if the demon wolf clan didn't suffer from internal injuries this time. Boss is wise. Then let's go. If those people come back and kill us all, that would be terrible. Right, let's hurry and leave this place. If even the demon wolf clan can't deal with them, then we definitely won't be their match. Wait a moment, use a recording stone to record this place. When we go back, we can show it to others. That so-called boss took out a stone and injected magic into it. He recorded the scene here, especially a close-up of wolf wings. After that, he left with satisfaction. Sima Yu and the rest came out of the array and realized that the red dot on the scroll was beside them. This meant that they were less than 100 kilometers away. There's a strong energy fluctuation over there. Little Seven sensed it and said. Let's go over and take a look. Sima Yu called out Chongming and flew in that direction. Very quickly, they saw the intense battle situation. Even though they were far away, they could see the heroic sword sect and a few other sects fighting with a group of spirit beasts. Wait. Qing Yi said. Sima Yu immediately stopped Chongming. What's wrong, Qing Yi? Those spirit beasts, their bodies don't have life. They aren't real spirit beasts. Qing Yi said, they are fake. Fake? Qing Yi nodded. As a tree of life, whether there was life or not could not be hidden from him. So you're saying that these spirit beasts were created by those people? Jiang Junxian said. Sima Yu looked around and said, if these people wanted to create and control these spirit beasts, they wouldn't be too far away. Go and find out where those black-robed people are. Move quickly, they can't hold on much longer. Thousands of scarlet bees flew up and flew in all directions. Senior sister, go and help them block for a while. Before we get rid of those people, these spirit beasts can't be killed. Sima Yu said. Okay. Take this. Sima Yu took out a few thunderbolt bombs and handed it to them. This thing is fun. Let's go. Han Miao Shuang took the thunderbolt bombs and went over with Su Xiao Xiao and the others. Let's go too. When the scarlet bees found those people, they would have a tough battle. The heroic sword sect people could not hold on much longer. It wasn't that they were not strong enough, but these spirit beasts could not be killed. They were constantly using up their stamina and spirit energy, and these spirit beasts would revive after being killed. They could not be killed at all. If this goes on, everyone's spirit energy will be used up. Zhou Lan led a group of disciples and surrounded a few masters who were heavily injured in the middle, confronting those spirit beasts. Qi Wei, didn't you ask Yu for help? Can she rush over? Yu Qing asked. Now, Sima Yue was their last hope. Let's not talk about whether or not she can rush over. Even if she can, with their strength, they might not be able to deal with these people. A disciple from the heroic sword sect said. You don't understand her. As long as she can come, she will definitely save us. It's all our fault. We didn't believe you. A few elders were injured and were surrounded by disciples to protect them. But if they were injured, how long could these disciples last? If they had believed Blue Blade's words before they came in, they would not have encountered such a situation. They were all mesmerized by the word ruins. Master, don't worry. Boss said she will come, so she will definitely come. As long as she comes, we will be saved. Qi Wei said. These people did not have much hope. It was not that they did not believe in Sima Yue, but these spirit beasts were too strange. Who could deal with something that could not be killed? Chapter 1143. By the time Han Miaoshuang and the others arrived, more than half of the heroic sword sect members had died. The remaining ones were still stubbornly resisting, but it was obvious that they wouldn't be able to hold on for long. In the distance, another large group of spirit beasts came out. Looking from afar, they were densely packed. When the heroic sword sect members saw those spirit beasts, their hearts were filled with despair. Right now, the spirit beasts were already too busy to fend for themselves. Now that so many of them had arrived, they were afraid that they would really die here today. These spirit beasts really look alive. Han Miaoshuang's crisp voice fell into the ears of the heroic sword sect members. It was simply the sound of nature. Boom! Boom! A few thunderbolt bombs were thrown over, and the spirit beasts behind were directly blown into thin air, greatly relieving the pressure on this side. Qi Wei and the others looked over, but they only saw Han Miaoshuang and the others. They didn't see Sima Yue. Where's boss? He went to look for the source. Everyone, come back and stay away from these spirit beasts. Han Miaoshuang and the others flew in and fought the spirit beasts with them. The people from the heroic sword sect knew the power of the thunderbolt bullet. They called back their spirit beasts and ran towards the back. They ran, and the spirit beasts chased. The spirit beasts gradually gathered together. So obedient, Han Miaoshuang smiled and took out a few thunderbolt bombs to distribute to everyone. Then, she injected spirit energy into them and threw them at the spirit beasts. There were a few more deafening explosions, and those spirit beasts were thrown to the ground. After this round of bombardment, more than half of the spirit beasts were killed. However, new spirit beasts soon appeared. F***CK, are you done yet? Qi Wei shouted. We won't be able to kill all these spirit beasts if we don't take care of the people behind them. Han Miaoshuang said. Little friend, what do you mean? An old man asked. To put it simply, this isn't a relic at all. It's a man-made space similar to an illusion. In this space, those people can create whatever they want. These spirit beasts didn't have any life force and were created by someone. As long as that person didn't die, these spirit beasts wouldn't die. Got it? Those people nodded. If only we had believed you earlier. Blue Blade's master sighed. But when did you find out? We only suspected it at first, but we didn't know what it was. Han Miaoshuang said. Later, after you went in, another group of black-robed men came. We saw them dig out the Rubik's Cube sky, and it just so happened that Junior Sister knew about this, so we completely understood what was going on. If these people had believed them a little and hesitated a little, today's incident wouldn't have happened. Unfortunately, they had all been blinded by treasures and opportunities, and no one believed their words. The heroic sword sect members were ashamed, but since things had already come to this, there was no point in regretting. It was a pity that so many sect disciples had died. The spirit beasts disappeared. Han Miaoshuang said. At first, only 1 or 2 disappeared. Later on, they disappeared in droves. In the end, not a single one was left. Seems like little junior sister has already settled those people. Han Miao Shuang took out the mother-son stone and contacted Sima Yuyue. Wait here, we'll be right there. Before Han Miao Shuang could speak, Sima Yuyue's voice was heard. They waited for a while, and Sima Yuyue, Little Seven and the others brought 2 black-robed men over. These are the people in Command C? Su Xiao asked. Nope. Sima Yuyue threw the 2 of them to the ground. The people in Command C are dead, or else these spirit beasts wouldn't have disappeared. These 2 are his lackeys. Qi Wei and the others jumped down, wanting to take care of these people, but they were stopped by Sima Yuyue. I haven't gotten any information out of him yet. If you kill him, will you compensate me? Hearing Sima Yuyue's words, Qi Wei decisively gave up, turned around and ran to Sima Yuyue, saying, Boss, I knew you would come to save us. Sima Yuyue saw his flattering smile and pushed his face away, saying, Didn't I say to settle things on your own? If I didn't come in, who would you ask for help? We had no choice, we could only try. I didn't expect it to work. Qi Wei said with a smile. The few elders from the heroic sword sect came over and bowed to Sima Yuyue, Han Miao Shuang and the others, saying, Thank you, little friends, for saving us. The disciples of the heroic sword sect are eternally grateful. If you need anything in the future, the heroic sword sect will definitely help. Sima Yuyue didn't take these elders' words to heart. Although she saved them, she didn't think that people who only wanted to find treasures would really be grateful to her. She saved them just to save a few of her friends. However, since they said it so courteously, then if there's anything, I will definitely help the heroic sword sect. Han Miao Shuang saw Sima Yuyue's courteous words and came over to ask, Little junior sister, what did you do for these people? Nothing much, I just stopped them from killing themselves temporarily. Sima Yuyue said. Then do we need to interrogate them? No, we'll leave these 2 people to the heroic sword sect. I think you'll want to know more than us. Sima Yuyue said, Now that the danger has been resolved, we'll take our leave. Those elders opened their mouths, but because of their feelings, they didn't dare to speak. Boss, aren't you coming with us? Qi Wei asked what everyone was thinking. I still have things to do. Now that you know what this place is, you should know what to do. Sima Yuyue said, If you find out anything from the interrogation, please spread the news. After all, there seems to be a big why plotting behind this immortal land opportunity. Goodbye. After speaking, she and Han Miao Shuang jumped onto Chongming's back and left without looking back. Master, what do we do now? Master Blue Blade sighed, saying, Since there's no historical remains, let's go out. Bring these 2 people along, we'll ask them what's going on outside. Yes, Master. After Sima Yuyue and the others flew far away, Han Miao Shuang couldn't hold back her curiosity, saying, Junior sister, you're just going to give them away like that? Aren't we going to interrogate them ourselves? These people are all death warriors, even if we interrogate them, we won't be able to get anything out of them. Sima Yuyue said, I've already gotten the information I wanted. You've already interrogated them? The information from the interrogation might be fake, but their memories won't lie. Sima Yuyue laughed evilly. What did you do? Actually, it's nothing much, I just used my divine sense to enter their consciousness and walk around. Only someone with your abnormal mental strength would dare to do such a thing. Sima Yuyue laughed, this was all thanks to the realm she comprehended previously, which allowed her mental strength to increase by quite a bit. She could directly enter a living person's consciousness. Chapter 1144. Then what did you find in those people's sea of consciousness? Su Xiao asked. They're just small fries. They don't know anything about the organization. Sima Yuyue frowned. That organization is very strict. Everyone only listens to the orders of their superiors, and they know very little about what to stop. All the actions could only be known at the time, and they had been wearing masks to isolate the divine sense, so they were not familiar with each other. Only people who spend a lot of time together can tell the difference. So you're saying that you didn't get any news? Han Miao Shuang said. Yes, there are still some details that I need to analyze before I can come to a conclusion. Sima Yuyue said, but they do know something about this incident. What do you have? First of all, this Rubik's Cube is controlled by several people. The one that was killed by Little Seven was one of them. If we want to solve this problem once and for all, we have to get rid of all the people who are controlling it. Sima Yuyue said. That's easy. As long as he could find them, everything would be settled. What else? Also, it was this organization that was responsible for the killings. Sima Yuyue said, they organized a competition called the Immortal Land Massacre. A few groups were sent out to see who could kill the most. As expected, it was done by this organization. Han Miao Shuang said, then what happened in Cloud Sea City, was it done by them as well? It's not in their memories, Sima Yuyue said, but it's highly possible based on their way of doing things. Immortal Land Massacre, this is interesting. Jiang Junxian said, but they shouldn't be just a simple massacre, right? Are they being framed? That's right. Sima Yuyue said, different groups set up different forces. The group in our area set up your mythical dragon sect. As for who the others are, these people don't know. Who exactly is this power? To be able to do something like this, the average power in the inner regions wouldn't be able to do it. Han Miao Shuang said. Everyone was silent. None of them had an answer to this. Let's settle the things here first. We might be able to get more information later. Sima Yuyue said. This was the only way now. Since they had a target, they also had a direction of action. Once they killed the people controlling the Rubik's Cube would automatically be broken. From the memories of the man in black, she knew that there were a total of 5 people controlling this place. After entering this place, they were in charge of the east, south, west, and central areas. They had just killed the one in the west, and now there were still those in the east, south, and central areas left. The person in the middle was the strongest, so Sima Yuyue did not dare to provoke him. She had to deal with the other 3 first. Therefore, in the next few days, Sima Yuyue and the others managed to get rid of the men in black in the 3 directions and saved many people from other forces. Some of these forces had been warned by Sima Yuyue before, but they didn't take heed and were defeated. After being saved by Sima Yuyue, they felt ashamed. The best that Sima Yuyue saw were the people from the 100 changing doors. Compared to the other powers, they were still rather calm. However, he still couldn't get rid of those pestering spirit beasts. These spirit beasts are so strange. No matter where we teleport to, they will catch up very quickly. De Wei said. Really, we didn't even see the ruins, and we're being pestered by these spirit beasts. I don't think this is the ruins at all. Little Wei said, Yuyue is right, this is a fake ruins. It's a pity that we didn't believe her. If it wasn't for her warning us, we would have been killed by those poisons. De Wei said. In the end, we didn't listen to her advice. Little Wei sighed. Luckily we have enough arrays, or else these spirit beasts would be enough for us to deal with. They're here again. Can't they let us catch our breath? Little Wei shouted. They had just come out of the array for a while and hadn't recovered their spirit energy, but these spirit beasts were chasing after them again. They had arrays, but did these spirit beasts have arrays as well? What a pain in the ass. They had already used up all their spirit energy, and now that they had recovered a little, they had used it all to activate the teleportation array. What would they do when they ran out of teleportation arrays? Alright, let's not talk about that. Let's quickly think of a way to get rid of these spirit beasts. De Wei said. How do we get rid of them? If we use a teleportation array to leave, they'll catch up again. Even if we leave again, they'll still catch up. It's useless. We have to think of a way to get rid of them completely. Little Wei said. But these spirit beasts can't be killed. I thought of something, but I don't know if you guys have. De Wei said. What? Rubik's Cube Sky. De Wei said. What? That thing. Isn't that thing already lost? But this and that are too similar. If it's really that thing, then we have to find the person who controls C, or else we won't be able to get rid of these spirit beasts. I also think that these spirit beasts are man-made. Heavens, if it's really that thing, we're in trouble. Once they were targeted by the person who controls the Rubik's Cube sky, if they didn't get rid of them, things wouldn't end. We still don't know where that person who controls C is. We still have to find him. Dewey said. Alright, you guys are the most knowledgeable about this. Tell us how we can find those people. We've already used up all our spirit energy, what can we do even if we find them? If we can't beat them, we'll still die. Dewey's words made everyone silent. That was the truth. Even if they found those people now, they wouldn't be able to beat them and would still die in the end. Little Wei saw something in the bushes and suddenly laughed. We might not die. What's wrong? Scarlet Bee. Yoyue's Scarlet Bee. That means she's nearby. Little Wei said excitedly. Isn't it just a junior? Look at how excited you are. Hee, just wait and see. Little Wei said with a smile. They escaped 2 more times, but when the spirit beasts caught up again, they suddenly disappeared. Gone. Looks like the person who controls them has been killed. It must be Yoyue's doing. Little Wei said. Teacher Little Wei, you really believe in me? The space tunnel opened, and Sima Yoyue walked out with a few men in black. Yoyue, it's really you. Little Wei said, I knew it, you would definitely be able to handle this. You guys believe in me too easily. What if I didn't kill that person? Sima Yoyue said. We still have some understanding of you. Little Wei said. He was referring to the fact that they had broken the array together. Sima Yoyue threw them to the ground and said, Alright, I'm here to tell you guys something. Chapter 1145. Read 336. Sima Yoyue's straightforward manner caused the members of the 100 Changing Doors to be stunned. Ahem, what's the matter? Dewey was the first to react and asked. Take a look at these 2 people. Do you know them? Sima Yoyue kicked the 2 people beside her and sent them to Dewey's side. They leaned over and pulled down their masks, shook their heads, and said, None. Sima Yoyue did not find it strange. Since this force was so careful, they probably wouldn't let anyone catch them. Are these the people who control the Rubik's Cube? Little Wei asked. Sima Yoyue raised her eyebrows. They knew about the Rubik's Cube sky. Then it would be easy to deal with what happened next. But when he thought about it, the 100 Changing Gate used to be the founder of array formations. If they didn't know about it, who would? Yes. Sima Yoyue said, this is also the reason why I'm looking for you. What do you want us to do? I learned from the people I caught before that there are a total of 5 people controlling the Rubik's Cube. They are distributed in the north, south, east, west, and center. The person in the center is the strongest. We can't beat him. Sima Yoyue said, that's why I want you guys to get rid of that person together. Then, the Rubik's Cube will naturally be solved. What about the people in the other 4 directions? We've already taken care of them. Sima Yoyue said. It's all settled? That's right. You guys are from the south. You guys were the last to be defeated. Sima Yoyue said, now we're only left with Central. The people from the 100 Changing Doors were stunned. While they were running for their lives, this guy had secretly saved quite a few people. Little friend, you are truly astonishing. An elder from the 100 Changing Gates said. Since you've already dealt with the north, south, east, and west, then leave the middle to us. Sima Yoyue smiled lightly, saying, all right. With a sect, she wouldn't need to do anything. The reason why the 100 Changing Doors had been so passive before was because they didn't know what this place was. Now that they knew, it was time to take the initiative. She took out a few pills and explained, these are pills for recovering spirit energy the people from the 100 changing doors had already used up most of their pills. Just as they were worrying about the pills, they didn't expect Sima Yuyue to deliver them. Since little friend has pills, we won't be courteous. That elder said. How can I not recover my spiritual energy to deal with that man in black? Sima Yuyue said with a smile. They ate the pills and sat down to recover their spirit energy. Sima Yuyue, little 7, Qing Yi, and the rest were chatting a little further away. After a while, Big Wei, Little Wei, and the elder walked over. Teacher Big Wei, Little Wei. Sima Yuyue stood up. Although their last meeting at the academy had been rather unpleasant, from the way he interacted with the 100 changing doors, he could tell that they did not spread the news that the formation book was in his possession. Yu, this is our elder, Elder He. Big Wei said. Nice to meet you, Elder He. Sima Yuyue bowed to He Ming. Yu, little friend, it's all thanks to you this time. If you didn't get rid of the person controlling us, who knows what would have happened to us. He Ming looked like the Maitreya Buddha, and even when he smiled, he looked like he was not affected at all by the previous incident. You're too kind, Elder He. We're looking for you this time because we have some matters. Elder He said, Big Wei, I think it's better if you say it. Sima Yuyue looked at him and blinked. Why did the three of them look a little embarrassed? Yu, aren't you a pill master? Do you have any extra pills? In the end, it was Little Wei who spoke. Pills? Yes, we've almost used up all our pills to recover our spirit energy. We don't know how long we'll have to stay here. So, if you have any extra pills, can you sell some to us? Little Wei said. Once he opened his mouth, it wasn't that difficult to say. But he still felt a little embarrassed. Sima Yuyue thought it was something serious, but it was just about pills. She took out a pile of pills and said, You can take these. I don't have many other things, but I have quite a few pills. Cough cough, we have a lot of people, it meant that these weren't enough. Then I'll refine some more. Sima Yuyue said. She winked at Big Wei and Little Wei, as a way of thanking them for keeping it a secret. We'll give you some compensation. He Ming said, We'll pay according to the price of the pills outside. Sima Yuyue thought about it. If she didn't ask for money, they might feel uncomfortable. So she nodded and said, Okay, I'll get my seniors to refine it together. Han Miao Shuang and the others were nearby. When they heard Sima Yuyue's news, they rushed over. They thought that something had happened, but when they found out that it was just refining pills, they lost interest. Sima Yuyue pulled them to the side and said, Do you know the 100 changing doors? I know, isn't it the founder of arrays? Han Miao Shuang said, You mean, Teacher Big Wei and the others? That's right, they're from the 100 changing doors. If we refine pills for them, not only can we get money, we can also build a good relationship with the sect. Why not? Sima Yuyue said. Thinking about it, the three of them agreed without hesitation. Actually, Su Xiao and Han Miao Shuang agreed. Jiang Jun Xian, who wasn't interested in anything, was threatened by Han Miao Shuang. They spent a day refining hundreds of pills for the 100 changing doors. A large sum of money came in. People like the 100 changing doors didn't lack money. Because it wasn't enough, they agreed to go out and continue refining. Now, they were going to deal with the people controlling the Rubik's Cube. With the 100 changing doors taking action, Sima Yuyue could only watch from the back. The people from the 100 changing doors almost died previously, so they had a belly full of anger. Since they knew the source, it was much easier to get rid of them. With the scroll, it wasn't difficult to find the black-robed man. They quickly locked onto his position. Seeing the 100 changing doors people setting up the array, Sima Yuyue felt like her horizons had been broadened. The sect of the founder of this array formation was indeed different. Their array formations were set up faster and more stable than others. Seeing Sima Yuyue staring at them fixedly as they set up the array, He Ming raised his Maitreya Buddha smile and tempted, Yu, little friend, are you interested in joining my 100 changing doors? If you join us, you can learn many ways to set up arrays. Sima Yue chuckled and said, I'm used to being free. Large sects have many rules, it might not be suitable for me to join. Big Wei and Little Wei were at the side. When they heard her, they looked at each other and shook their heads helplessly. Chapter 1146. After the array formation was set up, He Ming chose some of the stronger people to go over first, and the rest would catch up later. Sima Yue and the rest were naturally the first to go over. When they came out of the array, she admired the 100 changing doors even more. Their grasp of spatial positioning was too good. The last time she went to save the heroic sword sect, she was almost 100 miles away. But look at him, he came out just a kilometer away from those people. Moreover, she believed that they had deliberately chosen this location to avoid being attacked by those men in black as soon as they came out. As soon as the 100 changing doors people come out, they attack those black-clothed people. Although the black-robed men were very good at controlling space, they didn't have much of an advantage in a fight. They needed a certain amount of time and a quiet environment to make things. The current situation clearly did not meet the requirements. However, the black-clothed men were not to be trifled with, especially the black-clothed man in the middle. He was even stronger. Otherwise, he wouldn't be the main controller. Give me some time. Sima Yue recognized the hoarse voice immediately. It was the person who had spoken at the entrance. The black-robed men understood that by stalling for time, he meant to let him create those undead spirit beasts. They attacked the 100 changing doors, vowing to stall for time. Sima Yue and the rest were at the back. They knew that something was wrong and hurriedly threw thunderbolt grenades over. What a joke! If those undead spirit beasts were created, they would probably fall into a bitter battle again. Those people were strong, but the power of the thunderbolt bullet was not weak either. Especially since Sima Yue's strength had increased, the power of the thunderbolt bullet had increased exponentially. Although the black-clothed man was not killed by the explosion, many of the people around him were injured. Furthermore, his actions were interrupted. If he wanted to create spirit beasts, he would have to start from scratch. The black-clothed man was so angry that he vomited blood, but now was not the time for him to be depressed. There were so many people in the 100 changing door, and there were still people coming over. If he could not create a spirit beast, then the ones to die today would definitely be them. The other black-clothed men also understood this, so even if they were injured, they still fought with their injuries in order to stall for time. Sima Yue saw that a single thunderbolt bomb was not enough to stop them. She took out a few more and gave them to Han Miao Shuang, Little Seven and the others, throwing one each over. Boom! Boom! The consecutive explosions disrupted the man in black's actions. He was already suffering from internal injuries. Looking at Sima Yue and the rest, he decided to give up on his original plan and deal with them first. Otherwise, if he were to do it again just as he was about to succeed, he would probably suffer more than just internal injuries. Little Seven saw the black-robed man flying towards them and was about to get up to greet him when He Ming suddenly appeared in the middle and looked at the black-robed man with a smile. Where are you going? Come, let's talk about life. Let's not look for those juniors. After saying that, he started fighting with the black-clothed man. Sima Yue looked at He Ming. Although He Ming was slightly weaker than the black-clothed man, he was very powerful in space. With the help of teleportation and spatial lockdown, the black-clothed man did not have the upper hand at all. The battle lasted for more than 2 hours. Sima Yue and the rest did not make a move. Occasionally, there were people who came to them, but they were all taken care of by Little Seven, Hua Hua, and Little Dream. Explode! He Ming roared. Sima Yue looked over and saw the space around the black-clothed man explode. He turned into a ball of blood. Aya, don't smash his head. She rushed over and saw the blurry ball of blood. She wanted to beat her chest and stomp her feet. He Ming did not know why she was so agitated. He flew down and said, Yue, my little friend, what's wrong? You turned him into a ball of blood. That means his memory is gone. Sima Yue said regretfully. It was not easy to meet a high-level one. She thought that he would be able to get more information, but in the end, he turned into nothing. Why didn't you say so earlier? He Ming looked at Sima Yoyue's agitated expression and laughed. He said that he would go and take a look at the others and ran away. When the black-clothed man died, the Rubik's Cube stopped moving. Everyone's surroundings changed. They were still in the hills. There was no such thing as historical remains. No matter if it was the human clan, ghost clan or demon clan, they finally understood that everything was just a trap. Some of the people who came out earlier had already left. Some were still waiting. For example, the people from the heroic sword sect. When they saw Sima Yuyue come out, they were relieved. However, they did not rush forward. Many of them did not understand the situation. They began to ask the people around them what was going on. After some explanation, everyone knew that they had just walked through the gates of hell. Miss Sima, we will remember your kindness today. If there is a chance in the future, we will repay you. Goodbye. Many of them cupped their hands towards Sima Yuyue before turning to leave. Of course, the people from the Demon Clan and Ghost Clan did not accept her kindness. They all left after understanding the situation. Only Deja's group remained in the distance. Blue Blade and the rest walked over. They looked at Sima Yuyue gratefully. Yuyue, thank you for this. I know what you want to say, so you don't have to say it. If there is anything in the future, I will get it back from you. Sima Yuyue said. That's good. Then we will take our leave. The people from the heroic sword sect were waiting for her. Seeing that she was safe, there was no need for them to stay. Very quickly, most of them had left. Only the people from the 100 Changing Doors and Ghost Clan were left. He Ming, Big Wei, and Little Wei walked over. They looked at Sima Yuyue without saying a word. I will not give that thing to you. Sima Yuyue said, just because I saved you guys, you should give it to me, right? Hee, we did not say that we want the Rubik's Cube. He Ming laughed. Sima Yuyue subconsciously took a step back and said, then why are you staring at me like that? You are making me nervous. He had always looked amiable. How could he make people panic? Could it be that his smile was not sincere enough? It should be. Thus, he made his smile even deeper. However, Sima Yuyue saw him like that and immediately turned around to run. She ran behind Xing Yi and Little Seven and stuck her head out to look at him. He Ming could not even maintain his smile. He looked at Sima Yuyue with resentment. Why was this girl so afraid of him? This was not normal. What do you want? Sima Yuyue looked at him cautiously. When she saw him approaching, she quickly waved her hand and said, don't come over. If there is anything, just say it over there. That action, that gaze, He Ming was completely hurt. Big Wei and Little Wei saw her like that and lowered their heads to fake a cough. They had already said that it was useless. The elder did not believe them and insisted on coming over personally. See, now he was hurt. Chapter 1147. He Ming felt that he was no longer just injured, but seriously injured. Sima Yuyue looked at him and felt that she had overreacted. She coughed twice and said, well, Elder He, if you have anything to say, just say it. I actually just wanted to ask you, do you want to join our 100 Changing Doors? He Ming said resentfully. Ahem, we've already discussed this question inside. My answer remains the same. Thank you for your kindness, Elder He, but Yuyue is really not suitable to join such a big sect. Sima Yuyue declined politely. Are you really not going to consider it? He Ming was not willing to give up and tried to persuade him. I really won't consider it. Sima Yuyue said, Elder He, the other powers have already left, aren't you worried? If the opportunity is snatched away by someone else, it won't be worth it. Don't think that I don't know that you're chasing us away. He Ming said, but forget it, since you don't mean it, I won't force you. However, if you have time in the future, remember to visit the 100 Changing Doors. Sima Yoyue's mouth twitched. If he went to the 100 changing doors, it wouldn't be fun anymore. Alright, I'll definitely go and take a look if I have the chance, she replied with a smile. He Ming looked at the ghost clansmen in the distance and said, they seem to be waiting for you. The ghost clansmen are not good people. Do you want to come with us? No need. Sima Yuyue shook her head. I have something to settle with them. Alright then. Be careful. Let's go. He Ming led the 100 changing doors men away. In a moment, only Yu Yu and the ghost clansmen were left. Dija looked at Sima Yuyue and stood still. Sima Yuyue saw that they were not moving and looked at them cautiously. However, after 10 minutes, those people still did not move. It did not seem like they were going to leave or come over. Master, are you going to acknowledge her now? The person behind Dija asked. Dija looked at Sima Yuyue. He was in a dilemma. Should he confirm her identity now? That was what he thought. However, when he thought about what had happened in Bright Red Mountain Peak, he hesitated. Besides, how was he going to tell her that he was her brother? Because of his past experiences, he wasn't close to his peers in the family, let alone those who were related to him by blood. Now that he was asked to get close to someone, he felt that he couldn't speak. However, this person was his aunt's daughter, and he really wanted to talk to her. Master? Dija sighed, waved his hand and said, let's go. Sima Yuyue looked at Dija, thinking about how she could snatch the 100 ghost banner from him. Just as she was about to look for him, he left with the ghost clan. Yu, they left. Little Seven said. I know. I saw it. Then should we give chase? Sima Yuyue thought about it, but gave up in the end. She only let Qifeng keep an eye on their whereabouts. She didn't have absolute confidence that she could make Dija hand over the 100 ghost banner. If she went head to head, she might not win. Anyway, there was still a long time. She could take it slow. Right now, she was still thinking about the Rubik's sky. When Dija and the rest were far away, she jumped to the entrance and removed the array, revealing Little Rock and Thousand Resonance. Did anything happen to you guys? Little Rock and the rest stood up and said, we're fine. Almost no one noticed us, except for that ghost clan just now. The ghost clan noticed you guys? There was one person who was very strong. It was the one who left a mark on your body. He used his divine sense to scan us, but he didn't say anything. It was as if he didn't notice us. Little Rock said. Then how do you know that he noticed you guys? Little Seven jumped down and asked. When his divine sense swept through this area, it stopped on us for a moment. He should have noticed us. Thousand Resonance said. That guy almost killed you before. This time, he noticed you guys. Why didn't he do anything? This is too strange. Little Seven said. It's not just that. Sima Yuyue squinted her eyes. When we met them this time, everything was strange. It was as if it was different from the last time. But what's different, I can't put my finger on it. Their eyes. Thousand Resonance said, I thought about it carefully. When we were at Bright Red Mountain Peak, they looked at us as if they were looking at prey or dead people. There was no warmth in their eyes. But this time, when they saw Yu, their eyes were different. Especially the one in the middle. When he looked at you, it was as if he was looking at family. After hearing what Thousand Resonance said, Sima Yuyue felt the same way too. But why? Could it be that what she thought was true? That the ghost clan in her body was related to him? When he lands in my hands, I must ask him properly. Let's not think about this now. Let's take a look at the Rubik's sky first. Sima Yuyue rubbed her palms together as she walked to the side of the Rubik's sky. She walked a few rounds around the 2-meter-wide turntable. Previously, she did not study this properly. She only thought of a way to open it. Now, she had the time to study this properly. This thing had been lost for a long time. Even the 100 changing doors did not have it. This showed how precious this thing was. This thing is huge. Little Seven said, other than that, what other uses does this Rubik space have? Didn't you read the book? This thing has a lot of uses. But we have to study it properly before we know what uses it has. Sima Yuyue said. But that ancient book did not explain it in detail. Hence, it was useless for her to have it now. But now was not the time to study it. With a thought, she kept this thing into her spirit pagoda. Yu, where are we going now? Little Seven asked. Sima Yuyue looked in the direction that Deja and the rest left and said, Senior brother, senior sister, I have to settle some personal matters. You guys. Are you going to find the ghost clan? Sima Yuyue nodded. Han Miao Shuang wanted to go with her. But Jiang Jun Xian spoke first. We also want to go to other places to see if there are any opportunities. Let's part ways here. All right. If there's anything, remember to contact me. Sima Yuyue looked at Jiang Jun Xian gratefully. She wanted to find Deja alone. She wanted to clarify the guess in her heart. Jiang Jun Xian saw through it. That was why he said that. Han Miao Shuang saw that Jiang Jun Xian had agreed. She nodded in agreement. She looked at Sima Yuyue and said, You have to be careful too. I will. The three of them left. Sima Yuyue brought Little Seven and the rest and flew in the direction that Deja and the rest left. Yu, why didn't you let Miao Shuang and the rest follow you? Little Seven asked. Because there are some things that will bring them danger if they know about it. Sima Yuyue murmured. Chapter 1148. Her intuition told her that the person who almost killed her was too dangerous. If he let senior sister and the others follow him, he didn't know what would happen. On the other hand, Deja and the others who were far ahead of them noticed that Sima Yuyue was following them. Master, Mrs. Bees are following us. The ghost master waved his hand, and a few scarlet bees were sucked out. Although they could suppress their spiritual power, it was not easy to hide things with vitality in front of the ghost clan, not to mention a powerful person like the ghost master. Deja looked at the scarlet bees and seemed to see Sima Yuyue's familiar face. He hesitated and said, Kill them. Master? The guard behind him called out. This was the pet of his favorite aunt's daughter. How could he kill it just like that? On the other hand, Deja seemed to have understood something. He regained his usual calmness and ruthlessness. Let's not let her know that we're going to do that. As he spoke, he released a burst of spirit energy, killing all of the scarlet bees. Let's go. We must find that place before the Wonderland closes. They continued on their way, leaving behind the corpses of the scarlet bees. After a while, Sima Yuyue and Little Seven came to the scarlet bees. They're not dead yet. Qing Yi said. Sima Yuyue could sense that they were still alive. They were probably just knocked out by the aura of death. She kept the scarlet bees back into her spirit pagoda. Looking at Deja's attitude, her guess became more and more certain. According to the grudges of Bright Red Mountain Peak, Deja and the others should have wanted to kill him when they saw him. However, they didn't do anything. They even spared Scarlet Bee's life when they found out that he was following them. If it wasn't for the conjecture in her heart, she couldn't think of any other reason why he would do this. That place, where is it? Did they come here for some other purpose? She couldn't think of an answer because she didn't know what they were going to do next. The scarlet bees were discovered by them. I don't know where they went. Little Seven said, then we won't be able to get the 100 Ghost Banner. Yin Lin said that the 100 Ghost Banner had to be in her hands. Now that she didn't know where the members of the Ghost Clan had gone, how was she going to snatch it? Qing Yi saw the slight disappointment on Little Seven's face and said, I can roughly determine the direction, but it might not be very accurate. But the general direction should be right. Really? Why didn't I know that you have the ability to track people? Little Seven held on to Qing Yi's arm and asked. How would I know how to track? Qing Yi said, it's just that they're from the Ghost Clan and have the aura of death on them. Wherever they pass by, they leave behind some aura. I can sense a faint aura of death. If it was a human, he might not be able to do it, but the tree of life was naturally sensitive to life and death energy, so it could sense it. If there were other ghost clansmen appearing at the same time, he might not be able to do it. Thank you, Sima Yue said gratefully. With Qin Yi's guidance, Sima Yue ordered Chongming to continue searching for them. A day or two later, they ran into trouble. What happened? There were two groups of ghost clansmen that went their separate ways. I don't know who they are either. Qin Yi pointed in two directions. Sima Yue looked around. The two directions weren't very far, but if they looked in the wrong direction, it would be almost impossible to find them again. She randomly pointed in a direction and said, "Go this way." She wasn't sure if this direction was right, but she could only try. Reality proved that her intuition was wrong. The group of ghost clansmen that they caught up with was not Deja and the rest. When those ghost clansmen saw Sima Yue and felt her delicious soul, they were all moved. This human's soul is so fragrant. Prince, we'll go and bring her soul over to you. The guards beside the 15th prince saw him drooling when he saw Sima Yue, and all of them flattered him. All right. The 15th prince wiped the saliva from the side of his mouth. I've never seen such a fragrant soul in the ghost realm. A little boy beside the 15th prince looked at Sima Yue and said, "Prince, this person is the child of a ghost clan and a human clan. Is that so? I was wondering why this soul is so fragrant." The 15th prince felt that he couldn't control himself anymore. He wanted to eat her up immediately. "Prince, we'll go and kill her now," those guards said as they flew towards Sima Yue. "Wait." The little boy stopped them. "Wu Yi, if you have anything to say, say it later," the 15th prince said impatiently. "Prince, I felt an aura similar to yours from that person," Wu Yi said. "Oh." The 15th prince turned his gaze towards Sima Yue. He really couldn't resist her deliciousness and said, "Don't talk about similar, even if she's my biological sister, I'll eat her up today. Hurry up and go." "Yes, Prince." Those guards flew away. Wu Yi still wanted to stop them. To have an aura similar to the prince and to be the descendant of a ghost clan, her identity was obvious. Someone beside Wu Yi pulled him and said, "Wu Yi, don't you know the prince's character? Just like what he said, even if she's his biological sister, he'll eat her up. If she's really his biological sister, I'm afraid she would have been killed when she was born." Wu Yi thought about it and agreed. He really couldn't understand why the family would choose such a person to support, and even want him to follow him. Sima Yue and the rest saw that these ghosts were not Deja and the rest. Just as they wanted to turn and leave, they saw those ghosts attacking them. "Kik, weak human, our prince has his eyes on your soul. So, hand over your soul obediently." Those people laughed weirdly at Sima Yue. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. They wanted to eat her soul? Little Seven, Little Dream and Hua looked at each other and saw the anger in each other's eyes. Their master, these people dared to have designs on her? You, leave these people to us. Little Dream took a step forward and clasped her hands together. "Let's do it too." Little Seven let go of Qin Yi and jumped to Little Dream's side. "How can you leave me out of this kind of thing?" Hua said. 3 contracted beasts? Although those ghosts were surprised that she had so many contracted beasts, they still didn't think much of her. They had so many people, were they afraid that they couldn't take her down? Their prince liked delicious souls. Because of this, they killed many ghosts, not to mention the humans they met. These people's eyes are so disgusting. Little Seven said, "Let's compete and see who can kill more people." "All right." Hua turned her 10 fingers into vines and flirtatious flowers bloomed on them. "The person who wins will be Big Sister." "Then let's begin." Little Dream finished speaking and took the lead to attack those ghosts. Chapter 1149. The ghosts were still laughing when they heard Huahua's bet. These contracted beasts were too naive. You want to kill them? You want to see who can kill the most? You must be dreaming. However, when Huahua and the others attacked, they realized that this group of people was not easy to deal with. These 3 people killed people as if they were cutting melons. They were simply 3 life harvesters. Man-eating flower king. Nightmare race. What's the other one? How can he be so powerful? The people from the ghost clan were obviously frightened by their battle prowess. The first batch of people who went were all killed in a few moves. Hua Hua leaped and landed on a flower. She smiled flirtatiously. Just now, I think I killed the most. Hua Hua, that's because you have a lot of flowers. That might not be the case later on. Little Seven said. She was clearly the strongest, but Floey had killed so many of them at once. Floey had killed more than her. She was depressed. That's right. Little Dream looked at those people. It's not the end yet. It's hard to say who will win and who will lose. Hee, then let's continue. When the Ghost Clan's people saw that their people were killed, although they were surprised by their strength, they didn't plan to give up. You guys keep going. You must capture that soul for me. The 15th prince said. Yes, your highness. Huahua and the others might not have been able to handle it if they had sent everyone at the start. However, if they were to spread out like this, it would give them a chance to take them down one by one. Di Wu-yi saw this, although he was unhappy that they did not listen to his advice, but now that the arrow was already on the bow, he had no choice but to release it. He said, everyone attack together. Previously, there were only a few dozen people. Little Dream and the others could deal with them one by one. However, when there were more people, it was difficult for 2 fists to fight against 4 hands. Although they could ensure that they would not be injured, they could not guarantee that those people would not attack Sima Yue. After all, no ordinary person could be the guard of a ghost prince. When Sima Yue saw those people attacking her, she used her mind and her entire body was enveloped in flames. Qi stood at the same spot and those people could not even get close. The moment they got close to Sima Yue, they were all burned to ashes by her flames. Little birdie, you haven't come out to play for a long time, right? The flames on Sima Yue's body shrunk into a ball and turned into a vermilion bird that landed on her hand. Go, I'll let you have some fun today. As soon as the death race people saw this flame, they felt a terrifying heat and felt a sense of fear from the bottom of their hearts, causing them to instinctively run back. However, little birdie did not give them a chance to escape. Its body expanded infinitely in the wind, turning into a huge bird that covered the sky. In an instant, it enveloped those people. The moment they were touched by the flames, those Ghost Clan members were turned into ashes. In an instant, over 100 people were gone just like that. The Ghost Clansmen were so frightened that their faces turned pale. Little birdie, on the other hand, became excited and continued to fly towards the remaining people. Sima Yue watched as those people were engulfed by the flames. They did not even have the time to scream before they died. She sighed as Qi Yen started to recover his strength. Even little birdie's power had increased greatly. Quickly protect the prince. Everyone panicked. This flame was the Ghost Clan's nemesis, especially the powerful flames. For someone like little birdie, it could be said that they were completely helpless. Di Wu-yi saw this and although he was unwilling, he still stood in front of the 15th prince. The family's orders were to ensure the prince's safety. Although he did not like this prince, he still had to carry out the family's orders. He knew that this flame belonged to Sima Yue. He said, "This human, this is the 15th prince of the ghost realm. Please show mercy. The Ghost Clan will be eternally grateful." Sima Yue glanced at that prince and said slowly, "The prince of the ghost realm? Are you saying that the people that the prince of the ghost realm has his eyes on should offer their souls? If they are unwilling, they should kill them directly. If they are unable to kill, they should use their identity to suppress them?" Speaking of which, that was indeed the case. Little birdie stopped, as if she was waiting for Sima Yoyue's instructions. If it wasn't for the fact that I happened to have something to restrain you guys, would I be killed by you guys and have my soul eaten by him? Sima Yoyue asked again. You want to kill a person, but you can't kill him, then you use your identity to suppress him. Do you think this is useful? We were in the wrong previously. We are willing to compensate you. Di Wu Yi said. Compensate? Sima Yoyue laughed softly. I am not interested in other people's things. But, if people don't offend me, I won't offend them. If people offend me, I will kill them no matter how far they are. The 15th prince is the Ghost King's most beloved prince. If you kill him, you will definitely anger the Ghost King and receive revenge from the Ghost Clan. Although you have a flame that can restrain us, but you can't win against the entire Ghost Clan. Di Wu Yi said. Even if that happens one day, I will take my revenge today. Sima Yoyue said. Are you sure you want to be the enemy of the entire Ghost Clan? Di Wu Yi asked. He secretly activated the spiritual energy in his body. If they really fought, he could gain the upper hand by striking first. I don't want to be the enemy of the entire Ghost Clan. I am only taking revenge for myself. But, if you want to make the entire Ghost Clan my enemy, then I am not afraid. As the saying goes, counter soldiers with arms, water with an earth weir. Sima Yoyue said, I noticed you just now. You told them not to take action. Unfortunately, your words carry little weight. This prince did not take you seriously. Di Wu Yi's face darkened, but he did not refute. If they had listened to him before, this wouldn't have happened. And the 15th prince who was behind him was so scared that he could not move. The opponent was just one person and a few spiritual beasts. How could they be so powerful? This time, they really kicked an iron board. But, that person's soul smelled really good. It must be even more delicious. Sima Yoyue saw that Prince's gaze did not change. What an unrepentant fellow. Little birdie, treat these people well. Oh, don't kill that person first. I need to keep him alive. Once little birdie received the order, it continued to have fun and burned all the ghost clansmen to ashes. Ah. Ah. Don't burn me. The 15th prince wanted to resist, but he could not withstand little birdie's power. After a scream, he was burned to ashes too. Little birdie had already passed by Di Wu Yi when it passed by it, but it was trapped by it and could not move. In the end, the entire ghost clan was killed. Only Di Wu Yi was left. Little Seven, go and catch him for me. I need him in the future. Sima Yoyue said. Okay. Di Wu Yi alone was not Little Seven's opponent. He was caught very quickly. What's the result? Hua Hua played with her hair and asked the other two. This competition was interrupted because of Little Birdie. It seemed like the agreement from before was not valid. The three of them thought so. But Little Birdie flew in front of them and blocked their way. Chapter 1150. Read 336. What? Hua Hua looked at Little Birdie, not knowing why it was blocking their way. Little Birdie spread its wings, raised its head slightly, and puffed out its chest. However, Little Dream and the other two still did not understand what she meant. It was Sima Yoyue who laughed out loud, saying, Little Birdie is saying that it killed the most people. Little Birdie nodded. That was exactly what it meant. Little Seven and the other two's faces instantly darkened. They said that whoever was the most powerful would be the big sister, but this did not include other people. Xiao Meng looked at Little Birdie and said indifferently, Can you transform into a human? Then he walked around it. Hua Hua smiled and said, Are you a girl? Then he walked around it. Little Seven was still carrying Di Wu Yi. Little Birdie, move away, this is for adults to play, you're still young. Then he walked around it. Little Birdie was very sad. They were ignoring her. It flew into Sima Yoyue's hand and turned into a small bird. Sima Yoyue patted her head and said, Be good, don't play with them. Besides, you're not a woman. Do you want to be the big sister? Little birdie became even more depressed. Even she had said so. Humph, it didn't want to be a girl. But it was a fact that it had killed the most, these women who reneged on their debts. It rubbed against Sima Yoyue's hand before returning to her body. Really? Little Seven helplessly shook her head and said, Yu, why did you capture this person? Understand the aura of a ghost. After Sima Yoyue finished speaking, she brought everyone into the spirit pagoda. When the 15th prince died, the ghost master paused and said, the 15th prince is dead. That idiot is dead? Deja was slightly taken aback, but quickly regained his composure and said, that idiot was always so full of himself, it's good that he's dead. But I wonder who killed him? I should really express my gratitude to that person. The 15th prince was someone he had always wanted to kill. However, not only was he the Ghost King's child, his mother's family was also very strong. And for some unknown reason, even the Diwu family was with them. Therefore, even if he wanted to, he could only endure that idiot. Even if they had met before, he did not dare to make a move. We'll find out, said the Ghost Master. How do you know? The guard behind him asked. The 15th prince is dead. The Anaheim will definitely know about it. The royal family has a secret method that can send information directly into our minds. The Ghost Master said, the Anaheim will definitely not let that person go. She will definitely order us to take revenge. Thinking of that secret technique, the Ghost Master's body emitted a chill. Although it disappeared in an instant, Deja still noticed it. Others might not know what it was, but as someone from a family that was related to the royal family, he knew. Master, don't worry. I will definitely find a part of your soul for you. Deja said. The Ghost Master nodded. People with their strength were not all willing to serve the royal family. Why were there so many of them? It was because a part of their soul was separated, and that part of their soul was secretly imprisoned by the royal family. On one hand, they gave them supreme glory. On the other hand, they used that part of their soul to control them. The Ghost Master was Deja's mother, the personal bodyguard of the ghost world's eldest princess. He was a person who had lost a part of his soul. In the past, Deja was not valued in the family. However, after Yu Kaluo completely unlocked his talent, he became more and more dazzling in the family. That was why his mother gave the Ghost Master to him to protect him. Ghost Master, how do you know that the 15th prince is dead? Someone asked. When we met before, I left a mark on him. Now that mark has disappeared, said the Ghost Master. The mark disappeared, which meant that the person had completely disappeared. He even dared to kill the Ghost King's favorite, the 15th prince. Does that person want to pierce through the sky? Someone said. Who is it? We will know in a while. The Ghost Master was rarely curious. When they met before, the 15th prince was not only accompanied by the Diwu family, there were also many experts. Their strength could not be said to be weak. However, now that he was killed, he did not know who the other party was. Very quickly, he found out that this was not done by a power, but by someone he knew. Just as he said before, the Ghost Clan quickly found out about the 15th prince's death. The frantic Anaheim used a secret technique to send out the image of the 15th prince's death. She wanted the people in the immortal land to kill these people. He sent out the image. When Deja saw the familiar figures of Sima Yuyue and Little Seven, he almost fell off the flying beast. How could it be her? Didn't they just separate for 2 days? How could she cause such a big trouble? The Ghost Master was not very surprised. Sima Yuyue was not far from them. If they met the 15th prince, it was not impossible for her to overtake them. Her soul was very fragrant. The 15th prince who liked to eat souls would not miss her. If they made a move, based on her performance in the bright red mountain peak, she would definitely fight back. He knew that she had that flame on her body. With that flame, even the Imperial Guards might not be able to resist it for even half a minute. Furthermore, when he saw the flame in the image, he felt that this flame was more powerful than before. The imperial family has issued a warrant for the ghost clan in the immortal land to join forces to kill her, said the ghost master, so, from now on, she might be attacked by many ghost clan. If they do not succeed, the Anaheim might send someone else. Deja closed his eyes and took a deep breath, saying, she should be fine. That's hard to say. The ghost master said, since we already know that she has a flame, if the people in the immortal land can't get rid of her, when the Anaheim sends someone, I'm afraid that there will be a ghost weapon that counters her. When that time comes, she might not be able to resist. This is really troublesome. Deja said, Master, you take some people to protect her. I will continue to look for that place. My task is to protect you. I can't leave you to protect others, said the ghost master. But she is in danger. I can't just stand by and watch. Deja said, but I can't give up the purpose of coming here. Indeed. The ghost master said, but I won't give up my position because of this. Then what should we do? Don't worry. In the beginning, she can still handle it. As long as you can find that place before the Anaheim comes and complete our purpose of coming here, then you can protect her later, said the ghost master. That's the only way. Deja believed that she, who could even kill the 15th prince, would not be killed by the ghost clan. Chapter 1151. Sima Yuyue did not know about the ghost clan. Even if she knew, she would not take it to heart. Wasn't it just the ghost clan? No matter how many of them came, there was nothing to be afraid of. As long as little birdie was here, they would be completely restrained. She brought Diwu-yi into the spirit pagoda and little Seven then released him. In here, with little spirit around, even if he wanted to kill himself, it would be impossible. Diwu-yi was shocked when he noticed the change in the environment, but he quickly returned to normal. This woman was indeed not an ordinary person. Thinking about it, if it was an ordinary person, would they be able to kill so many ghost clan experts? What's your name? Sima Yuyue took out 2 chairs and sat down. She saw Diwu-yi who was looking at her cautiously. She waved her hand and said, sit. Why did you capture me? Diwu-yi asked, why didn't you kill me? Is it just because I spoke up for her before? Sima Yuyue saw that he didn't want to sit and didn't force him. She glanced at him and said, do you think it's possible? Diwu-yi shook his head. Impossible. Smart. Sima Yuyue said, I asked you to stay because I want to ask you something. What are you asking me about? Diwu-yi looked at her scheming face and instinctively put up his guard, saying, if you want me to betray my family, that's impossible. Your family? I don't even know your name, why would I want you to betray your family? Sima Yuyue asked. Then what do you want to ask? Answer me first. What's your name? Do you want me to keep calling you, hey hey hey? Sima Yuyue asked. Diwu-yi, 5th, it's rare for you to do something like this. Sima Yuyue said, your family isn't royalty, right? If that was the case, he would not have gone to protect the prince. The royal family's surname is Yu. Diwu-yi said, the prince you killed is called Yu. Oh. Does he have a high status in the royal family? Yes, his mother, Anaheim's family is very powerful, and my king is very fond of him. If you kill him now, they won't let you go. Diwu-yi said. They won't let you off either, right? Sima Yuyue looked at him. You were ordered to protect him, but you could do nothing as he died in front of you. The royal family and your family won't let you go, right? Diwu-yi looked at Sima Yuyue and said angrily, it's all your fault. It's my fault, but you're not angry. Isn't it? Sima Yuyue said with a smile. Diwu-yi did not expect her to see through his thoughts and was stunned for a moment. Nonsense. He denied, but his voice was not very confident. Am I spouting nonsense? Sima Yuyue said, although your eyes look very angry that I killed your master, there is no sadness in your eyes. There is even a kind of relief. Am I right? Diwu-yi was silent. Sima Yuyue smiled and continued, you didn't want to follow that prince, you followed him because of your family's orders. You even wanted to kill him, but you didn't dare. What are you trying to say? Di Wuyi did not like the feeling of being seen through, and looked at her cautiously. What I want to say is actually very simple. Since you wanted to kill him, I helped you to kill him, so you don't have to look at me as if you have a deep hatred. Sima Yuyue said. Di Wuyi was silent again, and Sima Yuyue did not rush him. I'm already betraying my family by doing this. After being silent for a while, he said, but I really can't stand 15th Prince's behavior. I don't understand why my family wants to get involved with them, and I don't care. But I can't stand their arrangement to let my family members protect him. Do you know, originally, with my ability, I wasn't supposed to protect him, but because he likes to tease me, he appointed me to protect him. Every time I see him doing those things, even if I'm also from the Ghost Clan, I can't stand it. A person like him shouldn't be alive. Sima Yuyue saw that he was so angry, it seemed like this person was really a scumbag. Now that you've killed him, then please kill me too. Di Wuyi said, or else, my family will have to bear the wrath of the royal family because of me. You want to die so badly? Sima Yuyue looked at him. Since your family can be with the royal family, it means that your family's ability is not weak. Would the royal family dare to exterminate your family because of your dereliction of duty? I don't think so. But I can't go back anymore. Di Wuyi said, there's no difference between me being alive and being dead. The funny thing is, I once thought of killing him and then committing suicide, but I didn't have the courage. Why would you commit suicide when you're living well? Sima Yuyue said, it's a good thing to cherish life, what's there to be ashamed of? Di Wuyi looked at her in shock. She was the first to tell him that there was nothing to be ashamed of. This was totally different from what he had been taught in the past. What's there to be surprised about? Sima Yuyue looked at his shocked expression, looking at him pitifully. But, I still can't go back. You don't look like a ruthless person, so you. Di Wuyi smiled bitterly. No matter what, he couldn't go back to the ghost realm, much less his family. He didn't have the courage to commit suicide, he could only place his hopes on her. Don't worry. I won't kill you. Sima Yuyue said, just stay here and tell me what you want to know. Isn't this what you want to know? Di Wuyi asked. This? This is all about you. Before I met you, I didn't even know about your existence. Why would I care about your matters? Sima Yuyue said. Then what do you want to know? I saw what you said to that prince. Sima Yuyue said, you said that I have a similar aura to him. Di Wuyi looked at her, she heard it from such a far distance. I can read the shape of your lips. Sima Yuyue said, what do you mean by a similar aura? You have the aura of the Ghost Clan. Di Wuyi said. You're definitely not referring to this, if not you wouldn't say it's similar, you're saying that I have the aura of the Ghost Clan. Sima Yuyue said. I'm not sure. Di Wuyi said, it's just a guess. What guess, tell me. You have the royal bloodline. Di Wuyi said. Royal bloodline? She recalled a long time ago, when she was in Yilan continent, when she entered Dragon Reflection Mountain, she once scared away an underworld beast. If she wasn't from the Ghost Realm's royal family, how could she have such power? As it turned out, she should have guessed a little about her background a long time ago. Chapter 1152. Read 336. If she had the blood of the Ghost Clan's royal family, then wouldn't her mother be a member of the royal family? Di Wuyi saw that she was deep in thought and said, actually, you're still young. There aren't many royals who came to the human race this year, and even fewer princesses. Overall, there are only a few of them, so it's easier to guess. You know? Sima Yuyue asked. I want to protect the 15th prince, so I naturally know a little about the royal family. If you are under 50 years old, then your mother is most likely the Dark Princess because she was the only one who came to the human realm in the past 50 years. If you're between 50 and 100 years old, you might be one of the other 3 princesses. Dark Princess? Yes, Dark Princess Ukuluo. She is a legendary princess with both beauty and wisdom, but unfortunately. Diwu-yi nodded, his eyes filled with sadness. She was also his goddess, but unfortunately, her whereabouts were unknown. Dark Princess Ukuluo, Sima Yu muttered her name a few times in her heart. This was the first time she heard about her mother. If this Dark Princess was really her mother, then it would be. Both of them fell into silence. Diwu-yi returned to reality from his memory and saw the faint smile on her lips. He said, "You're not even 50 years old yet?" Sima Yu nodded. Then you are really the daughter of the Dark Princess. Diwu-yi had a faint bitterness in his mouth. She really had a child with someone else in the human realm. May I know your name? Sima Yue. Sima Yue came back to her senses and realized that the way he looked at her seemed a little different. Sima Yue, that man's surname was Sima. You don't want your child to have your surname? Sima Yue looked at Diwu-yi's strange expression and said, "You know my mother?" "I know her, she might not remember me anymore," Diwu-yi said. "What do you mean?" Diwu-yi was once again immersed in his memories, recalling the few times he had met her. He was chosen to be Yudu's personal guard so that he could fool him at any time. Although they were from the same generation, his talent was higher than Yudu's, and his strength was also higher. Because of the power of the Diwu family, Yudu did not dare to kill him, but he still insulted him from time to time. He had heard many things about Dark Princess Ukuluo, but the first time he saw her was when he became a guard for 2 years. At that time, because he was unwilling to kill a child for Yudu, Yudu ordered people to strip him naked and hang him on the path to the palace. Everyone who passed by looked at him with disdain and ridicule. Some people even stopped to watch how he was being teased. Only Ukuluo stopped and ordered people to let him go. If it was someone else, Yudu might not even care, but he was afraid of Ukuluo. He did not know what had happened between them, but he was afraid of her to the bone. Once she spoke, Yudu immediately ordered people to let him go. He still remembered that when he came down, he was already very weak. In a daze, he saw her walking over, squatting beside him and giving him a pill, saying, "Go back and have a good rest. You'll be fine soon." He still remembered that her voice was so gentle, and it made his cold heart feel warm. If she did not comfort him at that time, he reckoned that he would not be able to hold on at that time. He could not hear clearly what she ordered Yudu after that, but it should be related to him. Because from then on, Yudu did not torture him as much. In the days after that, he followed Yudu around the palace. He saw her from afar a few times, but they did not interact with each other. He thought that she had already forgotten about him, because the way she looked at him from behind was so unfamiliar. But thinking about it, she was so dazzling, and he was so ordinary. How could she remember him? But no matter whether she remembered him or not, it would not affect his heart and feelings for her. Even though those feelings were so humble. Sima Yue heard him reminiscing as he spoke, and she more or less understood his feelings. She did not expect her mother to be so charming. She wondered how her father managed to win her mother's heart back then. She then asked him to tell her many things about her mother, about how she was extremely talented, how she was very powerful, and how she dared to kill the spiritual beasts at the river Styx alone. Those things made Sima Yue feel that her mother was too awesome. If her mother was the Dark Princess, the king's youngest daughter, then she would be. Diwu-yi talked a lot about Ukuluo. The relationship between the two of them was slowly changing. At least, he did not hate her as much anymore. As the two of them chatted, the other party moved to the stone table in the courtyard, and there was a pot of tea on the table. "Oh right, do you know someone from the Ghost Clan?" Sima Yue asked. "Who?" Sima Yue did not know Deja's name, and described his appearance. "There's a very powerful person beside him, and that person has always been hiding in the cloak." Diwu-yi could roughly guess who it was, and seeing her nod, he said, "You should be talking about young Master Deja from the D family." Deja? Sima Yue frowned. They had different surnames. Could they be relatives? "Speaking of which, young Master Deja and you are cousins." Di Wu Yi answered the question she did not ask, and said, young Master Dija's mother is a princess from the royal family, and he calls your mother his aunt. I heard that young Master Dija is also a ruthless person, but he has a very good relationship with the Dark Princess, and he is closer to her than to his own mother. There are even rumors that he is plotting to find your mother. They were indeed relatives. He must have noticed that her aura was similar to Yu Kaluo's, and knew that she was his cousin, so his attitude changed completely. Where is my mother now? Sima Yue asked. Di Wuyi shook his head, and said, I don't know about this. I only know that something big happened that year, and many people from the ghost clan went to the human realm to bring your mother back, but I don't know what happened after that. And since then, no one has seen your mother again. Mother's whereabouts are unknown, just like father. Is there any news about my mother? She curled her body into the chair, and hugged her knees with both hands, feeling a little heartache. What exactly happened that year that caused her father and mother's whereabouts to be unknown? No. But young Master Dija might know something. Because there are rumors that he obtained the 100 Ghost Banner, and is preparing to use that to save your mother. Chapter 1153. Read 336. Sima Yue was completely stunned. Dija had done so much for his mother. Yin Lin said that the 100 Ghost Banner had to be in his hands. Could it be that he also knew about this? Di Wu Yi looked at Sima Yue and was confused. He asked, have you met young Master Dija before? Yes. Sima Yue nodded. Not only had she met him, but she had also experienced many things. Did something bad happen? Di Wu Yi asked. Sigh, Sima Yue sighed. It's not just bad, we even fought each other. How is this possible? Di Wu Yi shouted in shock. If you're the daughter of the Dark Princess, he wouldn't kill you. Even I can sense your aura, so there's no way the Ghost Master wouldn't know. At that time, my ghost bloodline had not been fully activated and was sealed. Sima Yue said, I was almost killed by that Ghost Master. But because of this, his bloodline was stimulated. So they recognized you this time? Yes. I was wondering why their attitudes changed so drastically when we met in the Immortal Land. Sima Yue said. I once heard from Yudu that Dija was not valued at home and was even bullied. It was your mother who changed his fate. So no matter what he has become, he still treats your mother the same as before. Di Wu Yi said. Sigh. Sima Yue hesitated. What happened? Sima Yue glanced at Di Wu Yi. Since she did not plan to let him out, she might as well share her troubles with him. Do you know human diviners? She asked. I know, there are some in the ghost realm too. It's just that your human realm usually only talks about your human race's matters. Our ghost race only talks about our ghost race's matters. Di Wu Yi said. If the human race can predict the affairs of the ghost race, can the ghost race predict the affairs of the human race? Sima Yue asked. I can predict it, but I can't say it, and I won't say it, unless this matter is related to humans and spirits. Di Wu Yi said, why, did you meet a divinator? Yes. When I came in, Yin Lin told me to get the 100 Ghost Banner. Yin Lin? Does your human race have the sect master of divinator now? Di Wu Yi asked. You know him too? Not really, but because he is very famous, even in the world of spirits and souls, we have heard of his name. It is said that he is the most powerful divinator in your human race for tens of thousands of years. Di Wu Yi said, if he told you that, there must be a reason behind it. I think so too. Sima Yue said, I didn't know why before, but now I know. Then what are you struggling with? If what you said is right, he is planning to use this to save my mother. Sima Yue said, if I snatch this away, then he can't use this to save my mother. But, if it was Yin Lin who said it, then it should be reasonable. Whatever he said would come true, or else his reputation wouldn't spread to the world of spirits and souls. Di Wu Yi said. But, I don't know when I can go to the world of spirits and souls. If the 100 Ghost Banner is in my hands, My mother will have to suffer for one more day if I don't go to the world of spirits and souls. Sima Yuyue didn't want to snatch the 100 Ghost banner anymore. But, what if the 100 Ghosts banner isn't the most important thing to save your mother, or, even if young Master Deja has this, he won't be able to save your mother. Instead, he will lose his life for nothing? Di Wu Yi said, it's better to believe in the divinator's words than not. I know, but I'll go out and ask Yin Lin, see if I can find out my mother's whereabouts. Sima Yuyue said. Di Wu Yi was right, since Yin Lin asked her to do so, there should be a reason behind it. Since that was the case, he would ask Deja what exactly was going on when he found him. Although you have that powerful flame, but you are in a more dangerous situation now. If you have the 100 Ghost banner, it will be better. Di Wu Yi said. Sima Yuyue looked at him in confusion. Don't tell me you think that after you kill Yudu, this matter will be over? Di Wu Yi was choked by her ignorant expression. What? I said before, Yudu's mother's family is very powerful. Half of the reason why the Ghost King dotes on her is because of this. Di Wu Yi said, and Anaheim and the Ghost King doted on Yudu. Now that she is dead, they will definitely ask the Ghost Clan to kill you. She will use a secret method to obtain your information and pass it to the Ghost Clan, so you should be a popular person in the Ghost Clan now. Di Wu Yi saw that her expression did not change and said, aren't you worried? Isn't it useless to worry? Sima Yuyue put down her legs, picked up the teacup on the table and took a sip. At least now, those powerful people from the Ghost Clan can't come, those small soldiers, I don't have to worry. What courage. Just like her in the past. You said before that my mother is the Ghost King's favorite daughter, and also said that Yudu is very doted on. Then in comparison, who does the Ghost King like more? Of course it's the Dark Princess. Di Wu Yi said, but now the Dark Princess is not here, and Anaheim is so powerful, so your situation is still very dangerous. And what? After that incident, the Ghost King did not allow anyone to mention the Dark Princess. If it was in the past, he might protect you after knowing your identity, but now, it might make things worse. Di Wu Yi said. I'll kill whoever comes, I'll kill whoever comes. My Yuyue can do whatever she wants. A domineering voice was heard. Sima Yuyue's eyes were filled with surprise. She turned around and saw that Wu Lingyu had woken up. She immediately jumped up from the chair and threw herself into Wu Lingyu's arms, saying, you're finally awake. If you didn't wake up, would have been scared to death. I'm so happy to see Yuyue so excited. Wu Lingyu hugged Sima Yuyue, his lips curled into a charming smile. Are you completely recovered now? Let me check for you. Sima Yuyue said as she wanted to take his pulse. Wu Lingyu grabbed her hand lightly, not allowing her to take his pulse. It's still considered a reunion, don't do those disappointing things. Is your body still not fully recovered? Sima Yuyue asked worriedly. I won't hide it from you, that's not a small injury. I'll take my time to recuperate. But it's not a problem for now. Wu Lingyu said. If he kept saying that he was fine, she might be very worried, but now that he said it, she felt much more relieved. Wu Lingyu led her to the table and sat down. He sat beside her and asked, what were you talking about just now? How did you offend the Ghost Clan? Chapter 1154. Read 336, I killed one of my uncles. Sima Yuyue said with a smile. People from the Ghost Clan? Wu Lingyu asked. Yes. Sima Yuyue smiled, the royal family of the Ghost Clan. I heard that her family is very powerful and wants to take revenge on me. He wants to mobilize the entire ghost realm. Oh. Wu Lingyu raised her eyebrows. When I wasn't around, you were quite crazy. He wants to eat my soul, so he asked his subordinates to kill me and collect my soul. Sima Yuyue said. Daring to eat his Yuyu? So be it. Even if the Ghost King comes and wants to kill you, you should kill him. If anything happens, I'll take care of it for you, Wu Lingyu said. Sima Yuyue smiled widely. She knew that he would stand behind her no matter what she did. Di Wu-yi looked at Wu Lingyu in astonishment. Although he knew about their relationship, he did not expect him to pamper her so much. If it was him, would he be able to do it? The first thing she should be thinking about was what kind of trouble she would bring her. And then? Are you starting to think about how you're going to distance yourself from this? This should be something that most people would do. By the way, I have something to tell you. Sima Yue said, well, Di Wu-yi, you won't be able to go out for a while and you can't commit suicide here, so you can stay here temporarily. If I have any questions in the future, I can ask you. Di Wu-yi looked at her and she dismissed him just like that. Even though he was treated the best among the captives. However, he didn't dare to commit suicide in the past, and he didn't want to do so now. Since she was his daughter, shouldn't he have some expectations in his heart? Little Spirit left with Di Wu-yi, leaving the two of them alone. Wu Lingyu grabbed her hand and pulled forcefully, bringing her into his embrace. Come, tell me, what happened to you while I was unconscious? Sima Yue sat on his lap and found a comfortable position. Wu Lingyu also took the opportunity to rest his head on her shoulder. She let herself lean into his embrace and said, a lot of things really happened when you weren't around. She told him everything that had happened after Wu Lingyu fell into a coma, including how she had comprehended her domain and her own Tao, how she had saved Shiman Feng and the others, as well as the Rubik's Cube sky and so on. Wu Lingyu didn't expect her to experience so much while she was asleep. She actually comprehended the domain and the heavenly Tao. His talent was unparalleled. He turned his face to the side and asked her, you're amazing. You're indeed my woman. Tell me, how did you form your domain? Sima Yue then told him about how she had stared at the folds of the Tree of Life and how she had comprehended it. After listening to her, even though he was experienced and knowledgeable as a demon king, he was also speechless. Sima Yue didn't hear him and turned her head to ask, what's wrong? Wu Lingyu tapped her nose and said, nothing, I'm just surprised. What are you surprised about? Sima Yue asked as she slapped his hand away. Do you know that there are differences between domains? Wu Lingyu grabbed her hand and didn't let her pull it away. Although I don't know, I guessed it. Sima Yue said, why, is mine special? Qingyi didn't say anything. He's not human. Although he knows about domains, he doesn't necessarily understand it clearly. Wu Lingyu said, only those who have truly comprehended domains will understand the profoundness of it. Then what's so special about my domain? Sima Yue asked. Domains are usually divided into living and non-living ones. The difference is very simple. Living ones are like yours. There are flowers, grass, mountains, water, and even some animals. If there was no life, then it was just a piece of space, an invisible space. Most of the domains are alive. Since most of them are alive, what's so special about mine? Sima Yue asked. Don't be anxious. Let me explain it to you slowly. Wu Lingyu said, although many people have living domains, they are also divided into different levels. How are you divided into different levels? According to size? Size is indeed an important part of the division of domains, but it's not the most important basis for division. Wu Lingyu said. Then what's the most important basis for division? The stability and control of the domain. Wu Lingyu said, when supreme rankers fight, most of the time it's a clash of domains. The more stable the domain, the more likely it is to win in a clash. Sima Yue nodded. She understood. What about control? Control is how much you can weaken your opponent in a domain. Just like the space controlled by an array master, in this space, you are the master. The stronger the control, the weaker the opponent is. Wu Lingyu said. I understand. Sima Yue said, then what's my uniqueness? First of all, your stability is very good. Wu Lingyu said, as the saying goes, after breaking, you can build. When you were building it, your domain almost collapsed. If it was someone else, it would have failed immediately. But not only did it not fail, it made the domain even more stable. This might be because I was in Qingyi's body at that time, so it helped me to rebuild it. Sima Yue said. That should be part of the reason. Wu Lingyu said, but I think that's not the main reason. Say it all at once, don't breathe too loudly. Sima Yue turned around and pinched his ears with both hands, pinching and squeezing. You're the one who always interrupts me. Wu Lingyu defended his position. That's also because you always don't say it clearly at once. Sima Yue said, All right. It's all my fault. Wu Lingyu saw her glaring at him and immediately expressed his stance. It didn't matter if she was the one who kept asking him, since he didn't say it clearly, it was his fault. Sima Yue saw that he took the initiative to admit his fault and smiled. She thought of a joke from her previous life. A wife sets rules for her husband. The rules are simple and clear. There are only 2 rules. The first rule is that the wife is always right. The second rule is that if there is a mistake, please refer to the first rule. The way they looked now was quite similar. Thinking of this, she pursed her lips and smiled. She held his face with both hands and said, All right, hurry up and tell me. What's the main reason? The main reason I want to tell you is also the reason why you're different from others. When Wu Lingyu said this, the way he looked at Sima Yue changed. Seeing him like this, Sima Yue stopped teasing him and waited for him to explain. Your domain was comprehended when you were comprehending Tao, so. So what? Try breathing again. Sima Yue waved her fist. Chapter 1155. Seeing that she was really anxious, Wu Lingyu stopped teasing her and said, Have you really never thought about what's different about yours? I only know that territories can only be obtained by those above the honorable rank. Because it's too far away, I've never tried to understand it. Sima Yue said. Just as I said, there are many levels of domains. You comprehended the domain when you comprehended the Tao. Wu Lingyu said, so, the Tao is the most important, and the domain is secondary. However, because they comprehended it together, they fused together. In that case, your domain will become a domain with the heavenly Tao. There's a heavenly Tao's domain? Sima Yue raised her eyebrows, as if it sounded very powerful. From the looks of it, Wu Lingyu should also be quite powerful. Do you know that other people's domains don't have the heavenly Tao? Even my former domain doesn't have it. Wu Lingyu said. Sima Yue's eyes lit up when she heard the last sentence. Really? Yes. Wu Lingyu nodded. He didn't quite understand why she was so happy. He might have thought that it was because no one else had the way of the heavens. But what she was thinking was that she was finally better than him in one aspect. What's the use of that domain with the heavenly Tao? If you don't die and keep expanding your domain might become a world in the future. Wu Lingyu said, but I'm not sure about its specific uses. After all, no one has really encountered it. However, there are rumors that our current world was formed by the domain of immortals. Although we can't verify it, we can still listen. If I can really form a world in the future, then I can be considered as the creator of the world, Sima Yue said with a smile. If you really become the creator of the world, I think the people in your world will be very wretched. Wu Lingyu said with a straight face. Why? Because your smile right now is very wretched. See how I'll deal with you. Sima Yue grabbed him by the neck and screamed. If you say I'm wretched, then I'll make you wretched first. Wu Lingyu was pressed down by her. With a wave of his hand, a couch appeared behind him and caught him. Yu, are you that anxious to pounce on me? If you want, I'm very willing. You don't have to be in such a hurry, Wu Lingyu teased with a smile. Sima Yue was speechless. This guy was really wretched. She let go of his neck and tried to get up, but he grabbed her hand and hugged her waist. Then, he flipped her over and pressed her under his body. Since you're so impatient, I don't mind being taken advantage of by you, Wu Lingyu said with an evil smile, or rather, you don't want to take advantage of me, but you want to eat me? Hooligan. If you want to touch me, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to be so secretive. Wu Lingyu grabbed her hand and placed it on his chest. This was no longer just a hooligan. She rolled her eyes. Her right hand was grabbed by him, while her other hand hugged his neck. With a bit of strength, the two of them immediately flipped over. She was once again pressing him under her body. Since you want to be pressed down by me so much and want to be eaten by me, then come at me. But it can only be like this. I'll be on top and you'll be below. She stretched out her hand and caressed his face, teasing him. Wu Lingyu saw her sudden change and let go of her hand. Lying on the bed, he looked like he was at her mercy. He closed his eyes and said, "Come." Little Roar, who was playing in the distance, saw this scene and used his short legs to cover his eyes. He roared, "See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil." I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything. The other spirit beasts heard his roar and looked over. Seeing them lying on the couch, one on top and one below, they were all stunned. Cough cough, if you want to do that, we can pretend that we didn't see anything. You can continue. You can continue. Yiguang also learned from Little Roar and covered his eyes. But the gap between his fingers was so big that his eyeballs could be seen. I really didn't expect that Yu actually likes to be on top. Thousand Resonance shook his head and sighed. What's so strange about that? We're so powerful and strong. It's normal to want to be on top. No one said that it has to be a guy on top. Little Seven said with a smile. That's true. But for them to be frozen like this, do they plan to continue or not? I don't know. Could it be that they're embarrassed seeing us here? That's possible. Didn't you say that you wanted to leave? Why are you still here? Of course you would be embarrassed if you're here. Little Roar said shamelessly, as if he was not a third wheel here. Once these words were said, it immediately attracted the attention of the spirit beasts. Little Roar was the most shameless. Sima Yue got up from Wu Lingyu's body. She was originally just joking, but with these fellows messing around, she did not even have the mood to tease him anymore. Seeing that Wu Lingyu was still lying on the bed, she glanced at him and said, "How long do you plan to lie here for?" "Until you agree." Wu Lingyu winked at her. "Then you can continue lying down." After she finished speaking, she walked around him and left. But when she passed by the beauty couch, with a thought, the beauty couch turned into a pile of ashes. However, Wu Lingyu did not fall to the ground. Another beauty couch appeared in an instant and caught him. Not only did he not fall to the ground, even the ashes did not touch his clothes. Humph. Sima Yue glared at him and really left. Wu Lingyu laid on the beauty couch and looked in the direction of the tree of life, deep in thought. Sima Yue went to the pill refining room and refined some pills before returning to Wu Lingyu's side. "You're back so quickly." Wu Lingyu supported his head with one hand and patted the spot beside him with the other, indicating for Sima Yue to sit down. Sima Yue sat down and placed the pills in front of him. 1 pill a day. You have to eat it on time. Before your strength recovers, you have to stay here. Sima Yue said. Wu Lingyu smiled. When they were messing around, he knew that she took the chance to check his pulse, but he did not know that she found out so quickly. As long as he was in deep sleep, he would become very weak. He would not be able to use the spiritual energy in his body and his strength would be greatly reduced. He kept the pills and said, "But I want to go out and accompany you." "No." Sima Yue directly rejected. "I said, before my strength recovers, I have to stay here. Can you make an exception?" He held her waist with one hand. Sima Yue turned around and tapped his forehead, saying, "Be good. I'm going out now. You stay here and recuperate. If you want to go out and accompany me, then quickly recover your strength." After saying this, she really stood up and left, leaving him alone to stare at the jade bottle in a daze. Chapter 1156. Read 336, Sima Yuyue brought little 7 and the rest out. She really didn't bring Wu Lingyu along. Di Wu Yi gave her something to track the ghost clan. Although she could not confirm Dija's location, she could confirm their direction. At least she would know how to find him. However, while she was looking for Dija, others were also looking for her. It had been less than 10 days since she killed Yudu, and she had already met 2 waves of people who wanted to kill her. On this day, they were hurrying on their journey. When they arrived at a mountain range, the sky suddenly changed. A mass of black clouds pressed down on them. Then, a black fog rose up around them and enveloped them. Again. 7 pulled a long face and was really unhappy. This was because Hua Hua and Little Dream were clearly more proficient than her in dealing with the ghost clan. This made her feel somewhat defeated. Looks like Di Wu Yi was right. The ghost clan is going to hunt us down to the end. Sima Yuyue led everyone to the top of the mountain. Looking at the ghost fog, she did not sound afraid or worried at all. We'll kill as many as they come. Anyways, little birdie just needs to fly around. Little 7 said. Little birdie, I'll have to trouble you. Sima Yuyue called out little birdie. Little birdie loved to burn these dark things and was extremely excited when it saw them. It spread its wings and started burning the black fog. Ah! Ah! Pitiful cries sounded out one after another, and the black fog quickly retracted, turning back into ghost race people. However, most of them had broken limbs. I didn't expect it to be a humanized black fog. The cultivation method of the ghost clan is really amazing. Sima Yuyue said. What's so strange about that? If you cultivate the ghost clan's cultivation method, you can do it too. Little Dream said. You even know about this? Once our memories are restored, our inheritance will also be restored. Little Dream said, in any case, we are still mixed in with the ghost and demon realms. Is that so? I'll give it a try next time, Sima Yuyue said with interest. You can't touch the darkness attribute part of you right now. Otherwise, if it accidentally explodes, where are we going to find you? I reckon that even your soul will be blown up. I won't even be able to find you in the ghost realm. Sima Yuyue looked at Little Dream and felt that she had been led astray by Little Roar in the past. However, ever since she regained her memories, she had become a little sharp-tongued. She'd decided to ignore Little Meng. She watched as Little Birdie burned all the ghosts to death without a single ripple in her eyes. Since these people were here to kill her, they had to be prepared to be killed. The dark clouds in the sky were also formed by the ghost race. When the little sparrows flew into the sky, before they could even touch them, they automatically scattered and turned into ghost race to escape. This person was too powerful. They were no match for her. Sima Yuyue did not chase after them. She allowed them to spread the news. It was good that they could intimidate some people. Otherwise, she would be annoyed to death if she had to deal with these ghosts every few days. This is already the 3rd wave. If this continues, we will be annoyed to death. Little 7 said. It is indeed a little troublesome. Sima Yuyue said, then let's think of a way. Let's think of a way. Little Dream and the rest agreed. However, they quickly regretted this suggestion because Sima Yuyue's idea was to change her appearance. She said that to prevent herself from being exposed, Little Blossom, Little Dream, Little 7 and the rest could not come out. They could only stay in the spirit pagoda. Even the Chongming was changed into a 4-winged rock. If she were to go out now, no one would be able to recognize her. Those ghost race only knew her appearance. Now that she was gone, they would not be able to find her. She did not know if Dija and the rest were in a hurry. She chased for a long time but did not manage to catch up. It was as if they kept walking forward and had no intention of stopping to look for treasures. What were they looking for? She chased after them for a few months. Just as she was about to catch up, their aura suddenly disappeared. Sima Yuyue looked at the unresponsive underworld weapon and did not know how to react. Just now, the underworld weapon's reaction was very strong. This meant that they were very close. How could they suddenly disappear? She circled around the vicinity and searched the area within a radius of 10,000 kilometers. She did not find any aura of ghost race, nor did she find anything unusual. Suddenly, she felt a fluctuation in the space. She looked up and saw a group of people falling out. Ah, it hurts. You're on top of me. Get off quickly. You're sitting on my face. Move your butt away. Sima Yuyue stood alone in the distance. When she saw this scene, she was surprised. Especially when she saw who those people were. Sima Yifei climbed up from the ground and said, "How are you guys? Is everyone still here? Other than Chi Chi and Yi Yun, everyone else is here." Someone replied. "I didn't expect this to happen. We have to inform the elders quickly. The elders just left for a while and that person took Chi Chi and Yi Yun away. If we didn't use the array to escape quickly, I'm afraid we would have been killed. Even if the elders and uncles are here, they won't be able to defeat that person. That person killed so many girls. I'm afraid Chi Chi and Yi Yun are doomed. No matter what, let's contact Uncle Lu Feng and the others first." Sima Xian Shu said. Sima Yuyue didn't want to acknowledge them at first. But when she heard what they said, her feet were rooted to the ground. Sima Chi Chi and Sima Yi Yun were captured? Who captured them? This lady, why are you here alone? Sima Yifei looked at Sima Yuyue and said, "Don't you know that the girls in this area are in danger recently? Why are you still lingering here? Leave this place quickly." Sima Yuyue saw Sima Yifei's anxious look. It seemed like the situation was serious. After all, they were surnamed Sima. Thinking of Sima Lu Feng and Sima Lu Yun's instructions, she couldn't bear to ignore this matter. She walked over and said, "What happened here? You don't know?" Sima Yifei looked at her in astonishment. Recently a monarch-ranked expert appeared in this area. He captured girls everywhere. Those girls that he captured were all disheveled corpses when they were found. Why are you here alone? You should leave this place quickly. A monarch ranked ********. Sima Yuyue exclaimed softly. If that was the case, then wouldn't Sima Yi Yun and Sima Chi Chi who were captured be in danger? Yes, so you should leave quickly. I heard you say that 2 of your ladies were captured. Sima Yuyue asked. Yes, we have to save them quickly. Otherwise, it will be dangerous. I'm Siyu. Is there anything I can help you with? Sima Yuyue said as she winked at Sima Yifei and Sima Xian Shu who just walked over. Chapter 1157. Read 336. Sima Yifei and Sima Xian Shu widened their eyes and looked at Sima Yuyue in shock. But the Sima family members behind them couldn't see their expressions. See. You? Sima Yi Yun stuttered in shock. I still had some hope that you would recognize me, but it seems like you really don't remember. We met in Cloud Sea City. I told you that I'm called Siyu. Sima Yuyue said. Oh, so it's you. We remember now. Sima Xian Shu said, Miss Siyu, you also came to the Immortal Land. Yeah. Sima Yuyue was satisfied with Sima Xinshu's reaction. She smiled and said, when we were in Cloud Sea City, Yi Yun, Chi Chi, and I got along quite well. Did you just say that they were taken away? Speaking of that venerable rank expert, the 2 of them were shocked and their hearts returned to their original place. They were still worried about them. Yes, if we didn't escape fast enough, I'm afraid the other girls in the clan would have been caught too. Sima Xian Shu said, we need to quickly contact Uncle Lu Feng and the rest, otherwise. Ife, Xinshu, why aren't you looking for people to save Chi Chi and the others? What are you talking about here? A woman with freckles on her face roared at the 2. Sima Yuyue took another look at the woman. Most people in this world had very good skin due to their cultivation. It was rare to see someone like her. The freckled woman seemed to know what Sima Yue was thinking. She glared at her and roared, "What are you looking at? If you keep looking, I'll dig your eyes out." Sima Yue really wanted to say, "If you have the ability, come and poach her," but before she could open her mouth, Sima Xinshu said, "This is the first daughter of the clan, Sima Fei, What he meant was that she had a very high status in the family, so he shouldn't go against her directly. Sima Yue glanced at them. Both of them were worried that she would quarrel with Sima Fei, She shrugged her shoulders and said, "Don't worry, I won't bite back a dog that bit me." Sima Fei, just happened to turn around and talk to someone else, so she didn't notice what she said. Otherwise, the two of them would definitely fight today. At this time, two men walked over. One was tall and thin, and the other was short and fat. They looked like the classic fat and thin monks on TV. The tall and thin man came in front of her and asked, "Ife, Xinshu, what are you talking about? Who is this lady?" Although the two of them were talking to Sima Fei and the rest, but their eyes were wandering around Sima Yue. That lecherous gaze made her very uncomfortable. "This is our friend. Both of you go away, don't even think about hitting on her," Sima Xianshu said with a solemn face. How could such a beautiful lady know them but not us? "Hello miss, I am the young master of the Sima family, Sima Gaoqi. Now that this place is so dangerous, you should not walk alone. Come with us, let us protect you," Sima Gaoqi said. "That's right. How dangerous is it for you to be alone? Let us protect you," the short and fat Sima Gaoqi said. Sima Yue glanced at them indifferently and said, "Can you guys protect me?" "Of course." Sima Gaoqi patted his chest and said. "Really?" "Absolutely." "Then why didn't you guys protect Chi Chi and Yi Yun? You guys are so powerful here, how did they get captured?" Sima Yue asked. Sima Gaoqi and the rest didn't expect Sima Yue to be so direct and were stunned. They are after all Paragon-ranked experts. Of course we can't win against them. Sima Gaoqi said. "You guys can't even protect your own clansmen. How can I believe that you guys can protect me?" Sima Yue asked with a smile. The two of them were at a loss for words. In the end, Sima Gaoqi reacted quickly and said, "Although that's the case, but with more people, it's always safer." Sima Yue nodded and said, "That's true. So Miss is willing to follow us?" Sima Gaoqi asked. "Not willing to follow you guys, but to follow them." Sima Yue ignored them and turned to Sima Fei and said, "Fei, tell me about that Paragon-ranked expert. I don't know which force that Paragon-ranked expert is from. I don't think I've seen him before." Sima Fei said, "He's been capturing girls everywhere recently. Uncle Lu Feng and the rest said that he should be practicing some cultivation method and treated girls as cauldrons. That's why those girls look like that. What's so special about that person? What does he look like?" Sima Yue asked. "There's a scar on the left side of his face, from the corner of his eye to the corner of his mouth." Sima Fei gestured on his face, "And that person's hair is messy, his beard is unshaven, his figure is short and his clothes are dirty, like a beggar." Sima Yue could imagine how that person looked like. Thinking of those girls being defiled by a beggar, she could totally understand their feelings. "Has that person always been here?" Sima Yue said, "Ever since we came in?" "No, I heard that he only appeared in the recent 3 to 5 months." Sima Fei said, "I thought that he came from other places, but the people from other places said that they didn't discover such a thing. But the people who came from the area where the Tree of Life appeared said that they had seen such a person there before. He was alone, but because they couldn't see his strength, they couldn't confirm that it was him." Sima Xianshu added. "He came from that area?" Sima Yue was stunned. The first thing she thought of was that Paragon who annihilated a group of people in one move. But if it was that person, why did he come here to capture those girls? Lu Feng. Where are they? Sima Yue saw that Sima Gaoqi and the rest were here, so she kept the word uncle. When we came to this area, they said that there was something here, then they left, leaving behind an elder with us. But that elder was killed just now, which bought us some time to escape. Sima Xian Shu said. They knew that this area is so dangerous, but they still left you behind? They said that place is more dangerous. If we go, we will only drag them down. Sima Xian Shu said, and they asked us to leave because they were curious about what kind of place it was, so they didn't leave. They didn't expect to encounter such a thing. At this moment, Sima Fei shouted, "Can't contact them?" "What do you mean can't contact them? Did you contact uncle and the rest?" "Miss, we've already contacted all the uncles, but none of them responded." A man holding a mother-son stone said. "Miss, what should we do if we can't contact them? What else can we do? Don't tell me we have to go back and die." "Of course we have to listen to uncle and leave this area," Sima Fei shouted. Chapter 1158. Book title, Chapter Finding the Whereabouts. Author, Leave? Sima Fei cried out, "My sister is still in his hands and you say you want to leave?" Sima Fei glared at Sima Fei and said, "What can we do if we don't leave? Do you want everyone to die with them? Don't forget, uncle and the others told us to leave. It's all your fault." Sima Fei pointed at Sima Fei and shouted, "We wanted to leave but you insisted on staying and wanted everyone to accompany you. If it wasn't for you, this wouldn't have happened. What's the use of blaming me now?" Sima Fei cried, "We have so many women here. Do you want us to be caught and defiled too? Just based on your looks, people won't even fancy you." Sima Fei said. Sima Fei was angered by his words. "If you're so capable, then stay and save them." "We definitely won't stay." "You." Sima Fei acted like he wanted to hit her but was held back by Sima Xian Shu who was beside him. "All right, Fei. They're right. That person is so strong. It's useless to stay." Sima Xian Shu persuaded, although these words are unpleasant to hear, but what she said is the truth. There are so many girls here, it would be more dangerous for them to stay. Humph. Sima Fei put down his hand and turned his head to one side. His face was red with anger. This matter was originally caused by Sima Fei, but now that she had escaped, she planned to leave just like that. She even said it so confidently. If she wasn't the legitimate young miss, he would have already made a move. Humph, at least you still have some sense. Let's go. Sima Fei said to the others. Now that the elders and uncles were not here, as the young miss of the first wife, she could be said to be their leader. Once she spoke, who would dare to disobey? "If you want to leave, you can leave. Before I save my sister, I will not leave this place," Sima Fei said. "Humph, if you don't leave, don't blame us if you die." Sima Fei said, "What about you? Sima Xian Shu, are you leaving or not?" "I'll stay too," Sima Xian Shu said without hesitation. "Humph, all of you are courting death." Sima Gao Qi sneered, then smiled and said to Sima Yuyue, "Miss, you should come with us. If we leave here, we don't have to worry about that Zun. Thank you for your kindness, young Master Sima, but I'm more worried about Chi-Chi and Ian's safety, so I want to stay with them." Sima Yuyue declined politely. "That won't do." Sima Gao Si shouted, "Miss, you can't stay. That Zun is too strong. If you stay and get caught by him, then, yes, you should leave with us." However, no matter what they said, Sima Yuyue just looked at them and smiled without saying a word. "What are you two dawdling over there for? If you two don't want to leave, you can stay." Sima Fei was already preparing to activate the transmission array. If these two people still didn't come in, they would drag down everyone's journey. Sima Gao Qi and Sima Gao Si looked at both sides. Seeing that Sima Yuyue really didn't want to leave and Sima Fei was already activating the transmission array, they had no choice but to fly towards the transmission array. They didn't want to die. Compared to chasing girls, their lives were more important. After the Sima family left, Sima Yi-Fei turned around and shot out spirit power in the direction they left. Although he couldn't hit them, at least he vented some of the anger in his heart. Sima Yuyue saw that he was so worried and said, "It's no use getting angry here. Let's think of a way to save them. It's all my fault. If they said they wanted to go to the side, I should have followed them." Sima Yi-Fei said regretfully. "Don't blame yourself. They want to go to the side. As a man, how can you follow them?" Sima Xianshu said, "Yu is right. It's no use getting angry like this. What we have to do now is to think of a way to save them." Sima Yi-Fei closed his eyes and said, "But we don't even know where they are now. Where are we going to find them? Even if we find them, what can we do to save them? That's a paragon rank expert. If we go in front of him, he can kill us with a sneeze." Sima Xianshu was silent as well. Although both of them had stayed behind, but they did not have the confidence to rescue them. Sima Yuyue saw that they were worried but couldn't do anything. She could understand their feelings. Yin Zun was very strong. This was something everyone knew. Who could match a paragon rank expert? For forces like them, he could crush them with his little finger. But Sima Chi and Sima Yi Yun were caught. She couldn't just watch. At the very least, they were still relatively friendly to her after knowing her identity. "Do you have anything with their aura?" Sima Yuyue asked. "What?" Both of them were thinking about how to find them. When they heard her question, they couldn't react. "I said, do you have anything with their aura? If it's good, it's best if it has blood." Sima Yuyue said. "Something with their aura? I don't have it." Sima Xianshu raised his eyebrows and asked Sima Yi-Fei, "Do you have it?" Sima Yi-Fei thought for a moment and said, "I happen to have her bloody cloth." He took out a piece of cloth embroidered with an exquisite pattern and handed it to Sima Yuyue, saying, "This is what my mother left for us. Last time she had a lot of blood on her hand. I was anxious, so I used this to wipe her blood. Because the meaning is different, I didn't throw it away. What's the use of this?" Position. Sima Yuyue took out a scroll and melted the dried blood on the embroidered cloth. Then she dripped it on the scroll. The blood dripped and was absorbed by the scroll. Then it slowly gathered into a red dot and appeared in their northeast direction. "Yi Yun and the others are here." Sima Yuyue pointed at the red dot and said, "Let's go over now." Sima Yi-Fei said and was about to fly over. "Wait a minute." Sima Yuyue said, "If you go now, you'll only be sending yourself to death." "But they can't wait." Sima Yi-Fei growled. The more they delayed, the higher the possibility of them being defiled. Previously he didn't know where they were. Now that he knew, how could he remain calm? "Then we have to think of a complete plan," Sima Yuyue said. "Do you have any way to defeat that person?" Sima Xianshu asked. "That person is a paragon-ranked expert. How can I defeat him?" Sima Yuyue said, "But, we can only ask for help now. It's impossible for us to go with just the few of us." Chapter 1159. Who did you ask for help? Sima Yi-Fei and Sima Xianshu looked at her with hope rising in their eyes. "I'll bring you to a place. You'll keep it a secret from me, right?" Sima Yuyue looked at the two of them, unsure if she should trust them. "If I don't have your permission and tell your secret, then let me go to hell," Sima Yi-Fei said. "Me too." Two laws fell into their bodies, forming an oath. Sima Yuyue nodded and took out a small door. She opened the little realm and brought them in. "Your little world is so powerful. Others can't open it here. I didn't expect you to be able to open it." As expected of members of large clans, the two of them had seen many small realms, so they immediately recognized the difference in the Black Lotus small realm. This used to be an emperor's little realm. He seemed to have done something to it. The space is different, so it can be opened from here, Sima Yuyue explained. She brought them to the lakeside. The first one to come up was not Wu Lali and Shui Qing Man, but Little 11. Little 11 flew out of the water and pounced into Sima Yuyue's arms. He rubbed against her as if he was wondering why she took so long to come in. Sima Yuyue hugged Little 11 and said, "I missed you too." The golden color is increasing, and the bloodline is still evolving? Indeed. Wu Lali held Shui Qing Man's hand as they came out of the water. Seeing how Little 11 kissed her, he was extremely envious. This little guy, just because he threw it away once, now no matter what, it wouldn't get close to him. Godfather and godmother. Sima Yuyue smiled at the two of them. Little 11 has been evolving? Yes. Although the speed is slower, but it is indeed evolving. Shui Qing Man said. Sima Yuyue patted Little 11 and said, "Little 11, you can do it." Little 11 rubbed against it and then spun around a few times. "Yuyue, why are you here?" Shui Qing Man asked. "I've encountered a problem and I'm here to ask for your help." Sima Yuyue stopped smiling and said seriously. "Oh. Our omnipotent child also has a time when he needs my help? What is it? Tell me." Wu Lamai said. Sima Yuyue looked at Sima Yi Fei and Wu Lali on the shore and flew over with Shui Qing Man and Wu Lali. When Sima Yi Fei and Sima Xi and Shu were in Cloud Sea City, they had seen Shui Qing Man and her together with Sima Yuyue at the entrance. They didn't expect them to be here. "This is my adoptive father and mother, the king and queen of the Violet Water Dragon clan. These are my two cousins, Sima Xi and Shu and Sima Yi Fei." Sima Yuyue introduced both parties. "Greetings to Dragon King, Queen." Sima Xi and Shu and Sima Yi Fei were surprised at their identities and bowed. Wu Lamai nodded faintly and asked, "Are they the ones who need my help?" Her attitude and tone were completely different from Sima Yuyue's. "Not really." Sima Yuyue said, "My two cousins were captured by a ********. We wanted to save them, but that ******* is a monarch. You want me to deal with that person?" Wu Lali asked. Sima Yuyue nodded and asked, "Is adoptive father willing to help me?" Wu Lali was silent for a moment, as if he was thinking. Just when Sima Xi and Shu and the rest thought that he wouldn't agree, he suddenly laughed and said, "This is the first time our Yuyue asked me for help, how can I not agree?" Both of them were overjoyed and bowed deeply to Wu Lamai. "Thank you, Dragon King, for helping us." "You don't have to thank me. If it wasn't for Yuyue, I wouldn't bother about you humans," Wu Lamai said. "But we still have to thank you," Sima Xi and Shu said. He was willing to help, that was a sign of his affection. "Yuyue, tell me the details of the situation," Wu Lamai said. Sima Yuyue let Sima Xi and Shu explain the situation and said, "The problem now is to know the strength of that Y supremacy. Do you know? The difference is too big, and he didn't use his full strength at that time. He was busy escaping, so he didn't notice." Sima Xi and Shu said. "Don't you know where they are? Let's go and take a look. Let me see him and I'll be able to see his strength," Wu Lali said. "Okay." They came outside and Sima Yuyue took out the scroll and showed it to him, pointing out the location of Sima Yi Yun and the rest. "The distance isn't too far, I'll bring you there first." Wu Lali opened a space tunnel and brought them in. They didn't go directly to Y Supremacy's lair, but came out nearby and slowly sneaked over. They didn't know how Sima Yi Yun and Sima Chi Chi were, but they were sure that they were still alive because the red dot was still there. "That person is in that mountain D." Wu Lamai could feel Y Supremacy's aura. "How are Yi Yun and Chi Chi?" Sima Yi Fei asked. "There are more than 10 girls inside, who are you talking about?" Wu Lali asked. "More than 10 girls? Seems like that person is hoarding girls for later use." Sima Yuyue guessed, "Godfather, can you feel his strength?" I can feel that his aura is stronger than mine. As for how much stronger, I'll have to see him to be sure. Wu Lamai said, if his rank is the same as mine, then I'll definitely be able to win against him. If he's one rank higher than me, then I should be able to win against him. Our Violet Water Dragon clan has the ability to fight against those of a higher rank. But if he's 2 ranks higher than me, then I can't do anything. They waited outside for a while, but White Supremacy didn't come out. We can't keep waiting like this. If he doesn't come out, then won't we have to keep waiting? Sima Yi Fei said. The more they waited, the more danger those girls would be in. Time waits for no one. We have to think of a way. Sima Yuyue said. Why don't I lure him out? Wu Lamai was an impatient person. He was getting impatient after waiting for so long. No way. Sima Yuyue denied it without thinking, we don't know his strength now. If he's as strong as Godfather, then it's about the same. What if he's stronger than you? Wouldn't that be dangerous? Then do we have to keep waiting like this? I'll think of a way to lure him out. Sima Yuyue said, you guys wait here. What are you going to do? Wu Lamai asked, if you're discovered by him, then it'll be even more dangerous. Godfather, don't worry. I have a way to come back safely. Sima Yuyue finished speaking and jumped out from her hiding place. She used the space to hide her aura and stopped a few hundred meters away from entrance D. A girl's scream and some girls' cries came from entrance D. There was also a guy's laughter. It seemed like he was defiling girls again. Chapter 1160. When Sima Yuyue heard the girls' screams, she heaved a sigh of relief when she realized that it wasn't Sima Chi and Sima Yi Yun. She took out 2 thunderbolt bombs and thought to herself, if I get scared when I'm in the mood, I wonder if I'll be unable to do it in the future. She injected spiritual energy into the thunderbolt bullet and threw it into the hole. The moment she threw it out, she teleported back to her hiding place twice. Then, he led everyone into the spirit pagoda. Sima Xi and Shu and the rest had sworn an oath that they would not reveal her secret, so she was relieved to bring them in. When Yin Zun put on his pants and came out, he didn't see anyone. When Sima Yi Fei and the others saw her teleport back, they recalled that she had this ability. You really look like a beggar. Sima Yuyue looked out from the spirit pagoda and saw that the person was similar to what Sima Xinshu and the rest had said. Who is it? Who is it? It wasn't that he was frightened by the explosion, but that someone was able to get so close to him without him noticing. That person's strength was at least on par with his. But when he came outside, he didn't see anyone. He didn't even see anyone who could move. The spirit beasts here all fled after knowing that he was here. Who is it? He released his aura, but he still couldn't sense anyone's presence. No matter who you are, if I catch you, I will definitely kill you. Within the spirit pagoda, Sima Yuyue asked Wu Lamai, Father, can you tell how strong he is? Yes. Wu Lamai said, his strength is 1 level higher than mine, and he's about to enter the high paragon level. If that's the case, his strength isn't just 1 level higher than mine. If you fight him, are you confident in winning? Sima Yuyue didn't expect Yin Zun to be so strong. Since he was such a strong person, why would he do such a thing? Less than a 50% chance, Wu Lamai said honestly. But if I go all out, it's not like I have no chance of winning. That's too risky, Sima Yuyue said. Less than a 50% chance. That was to say, the chances of him winning were low, and the chances of him being killed were high. He couldn't let him take such a risk. She thought for a moment and asked, what if it's in the domain? Domain? Wu Lamai started and then shook his head, saying, we spirit beasts are unable to comprehend a domain. I'm talking about my spirit realm. Sima Yuyue said, what if he's in my spirit realm and his strength is suppressed? As soon as she said that, the 3 men present were stunned. Domain? Are you saying that you've comprehended a domain? Wu Lamai was in the little realm and did not know what had happened to Sima Yuyue in the past 2 years. When he heard what she said, he almost bit his tongue off. Sima Yi Fei and Sima Xian Shu were even more surprised. As a direct descendant of the Sima family with a monarch rank powerhouse, they naturally knew about domains. But wasn't this something that could only be comprehended by Paragon-level experts? Why did she have one too? Yuyue, when did you comprehend your domain? Less than a year. Because of some opportunities, I managed to comprehend it. Sima Yuyue said, Godfather, like what I said just now, if it's in my domain, how confident are you? At least 80%. Wu Lamai said, but it's not that easy. That's a monarch rank. If he also comprehended a domain, you definitely won't be able to win against him. What we want is not to kill him now. Sima Yuyue said, we need to cooperate with many parties to delay time so that Yi Fei and the rest can rescue him. Of course, it's best if we can kill him. Then we need to discuss how to do it. Wu Lamai said. Indeed, we need to plan it well. Sima Yuyue said. They discussed for half a day in the Spirit Pagoda and finally decided on the final plan. I'll go out in a while and set up an array from afar. I'll put some poison in the array. Even if it can't poison him, it'll be good if it can delay him for 1 or 2 seconds. Sima Yuyue said, Xian Shu will be in charge of activating the array. I'll control the domain from the side. So Yi Fei, you'll have to save them alone, understand? Don't worry, I'll definitely save them. Sima Yi Fei said. There's one thing that's still worrying. Sima Xian Shu said, Paragon-level experts are very sensitive to space. If he discovers that you're using your domain, I'm afraid he'll find out before you succeed. Once he finds out, you'll be in danger. I naturally have my ways. Sima Yuyue said, Godfather, I'll get the elders of Egret clan to cooperate with you. All right. Then it's settled. I'll go out and find a place to set up the array. You and the elders can get used to it. Sima Yuyue finished speaking and went out alone. She came to a spacious place and took a deep breath before starting to set up the array. She set up a small-scale trapping array and set the activation array further away so that Sima Xian Shu would be able to activate the array from afar. After setting up the array, she added some poison before bringing the others out. Other than Sima Xian Shu and the others, there were also 4 elders of Egret clan. Although they weren't Paragon-level experts, they were half a step into it. We'll go find that ****** later. Yi Fei, when you see him come out, go in and save him. You have to be quick because we don't know how long we can hold on. Sima Yuyue said, if he returns, you and the others will be in danger. I know. Sima Yi Fei said. Godfather, after you lure him out, don't continue to fight. You have to come back quickly and lure him into the array. Sima Yuyue said to Wu Lamai. Don't worry. Wu Lamai nodded. Then you guys go. All right. Wu Lamai took the elders of Egret clan to the ********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* the side. Then he threw a thunderbolt bomb over. Sima Yuyue and Sima Xian Shu were waiting at the array. When they heard the explosion, they knew they were coming over soon. Xian Shu, when he flies to that position, you activate the array. Then get away from here. Sima Yuyue said. I know. Sima Xian Shu's expression didn't change, but his body was trembling slightly. It was the first time for him to fight against a Paragon-level expert. Especially when the other party was a devil. Maybe he would be killed in seconds. After a while, they saw Wu Lamai flying over, followed by Yin Zun. You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.